the roll call and we'll start the lesson. Monty G in the house as well. He's here. A lot of people here. Just wait and come on, YouTube. Any day, YouTube. You can bring them on over, YouTube. They're coming. All right, Darwin's here. Shout out to the OG Darwin. Klopp, Kevin Mendoza. All right, baby. We got Market Sniper. Here they come, says Bears versus Bulls. A little bit, right? Still not seeing that much. JC Finance, Sofa, you know what? ALX, Caleb. We got Mr. Long Shorts, Charlie. We got Mr. Memes, baby. Ronaldo, Saskatchewan, Bob Dub, Hamster, Odyssey Flights. Who else we got? We got Toilet Brush, Big Adam Deluce as well. T-Man, TJ, E4, Sebastian, Oliver, JB, Gone, Jimmy Jones Jr. I like that. Sounds like Jerry Jones.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, owner of Dallas Cowboys.
Oh.
Yeah. Someone hit the fail there. All right, Katina, man, all right. Not everybody gets to own their team like yourself. Chill out over there. Shout out to the Katina man, baby. All right, guys. Great show on for you today. Happy Friday, first and foremost. Good morning, Adair. How's everything?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Can't complain. All right, let's get and look at these markets, baby, because we have to look at a couple of things before we start the lesson. NVIDIA, 815. Guys, chart. 815 high right now and looking to go for more. There's really nothing to chart at this level. This is a blue sky setup, never been up here. Big squeeze. I'm willing to posit it has something to do with Dell and the amount and what they said about these NVIDIA chips, how they're able to get their hands on more and more of them, and the demand that they have for them. I guess both those things. New high a day, I was talking 815 a third. This thing is on its way to resistance level 2 on pivots, it looks like. In addition to that, 18.2 on the futures. See ya. 18.211, another blue sky setup on the future. I think actually we got higher than that. 18.218, excuse me, didn't update there. The future continues to pump to the high side. Lots of things to talk about today. Those two are the ones that I want to start off with. But obviously we have to talk about META, $500 in view, baby. New all-time high. Excuse me, on Meta, 501.81. This is doing the dance right now, south of 500. We'll have to wait and see what the closing print at 4 o'clock is, because you know I care about those closing prints. So we'll continue to watch. And then as the Katina man and as the Neil, we're letting you know before they signed off and sent you over here, Boeing looking possibly to acquire Spirit Aerosystems yet again. They used to own this bad boy back in before 2005, then they spun it off, thinking that they may be able to recoup some efficiency from the separation of the production process, but looks like they've changed their mind there and they're looking to acquire them again. Boeing down 1.5% on that news, but Spirit Aerosystems up 16.5%. That's ticker SPR. Keep your eye on that. All right, let's get to the lesson, baby. Today we are talking, as advertised, about the efficient market hypothesis. Essentially what we're talking about here, it's a cornerstone concept in finance. There's a lot of ongoing debate about how information influences investment decisions. Today we'll unpack the core ideas and dive into the implication for traders and both investors. All right, let's get right to it, baby. So the central idea here, and we're going to call this EMH, just like we called it RWT yesterday for random walk hypothesis. Random
or theory.
RWT, yeah, random walk theory, thank you. Efficient market hypothesis, we're going to call it EMH. I'm like, that didn't sound right. This theory posits that market prices reflect all available information, so everything is discounted, meaning that they accurately represent the intrinsic value of an asset at any given time. So this has two major implications. The first is that efficient markets prices adjust rapidly to new information, making it impossible to consistently beat the market, so to speak, by buying undervalued or selling overvalued assets. So it's saying, you know, so quick is the market to digest information and have that new information reflected in the prices that you're not going to be that quick. You're not going to be able to outperform the market. So goes this theory. In addition, the other implication is with respect to fair value. So stocks trade at what they call their intrinsic value, which represents their actual true worth based on factors like future earnings and growth prospects, etc. So everything that could happen with a particular asset has already been discounted and is reflected in the intrinsic value of the asset. Therefore, you can't be smart and figure out ways to outmaneuver the market or look for undervalued stocks. So goes this theory. I don't happen to agree, okay? But that's the point of doing all this, so we can share ideas. But there's not just one form of efficient market hypothesis. There are three. All right, so it comes in three flavors, each outlining the level of information incorporated in the prices. So the first one is what we call weak form. And essentially, this is basically only publicly available historical price and volume data are reflected in the prices. So this will only look at price and volume in the historical sense, obviously. And it doesn't take into consideration anything else. Forget about earnings, forget about overbought, underbought, overvalued, undervalued. It doesn't look into that. Then there's a different form called the semi-strong form. So in addition to the publicly available information with respect to price and volume, this one takes into consideration all publicly known fundamental information. For example, like earnings reports, economic data, etc. That's all incorporated into this form of EMH. And then there's a strong form. So this is going to take into consideration everything. So all information, including public and private insider information, is reflected in this type of form. So obviously, we have to look at the third one with a little bit of suspicion here, because we all know what insider information can get you in a lot of trouble. All right, especially if you act on it to make purchases. So those are the three different forms of the efficient market hypothesis. So what are the implications for traders and investors? So this one, the proponents of EMH are going to basically, they're fans of passive investing. So kind of like yesterday with the random walk theory. So they argue that actively trading and trying to beat the market is a futile endeavor. Instead, they recommend passive investing to be diversified in low-cost index funds and passively track the broad market indices. So don't try to buy single names. Don't try to buy ETFs for specific sectors. No. Go ahead, buy the SPYs, buy the Qs, or whatever else, the IWM or the Dow, and track those indexes. I, again, don't happen to agree. The other one is that there's an active management component as well. So critics argue that EMH is unrealistic and that skilled investors can certainly find ways to exploit inefficiencies by analyzing fundamental data or using technical analysis. And I happen to agree with that. So I do feel like I am part of the critic group with respect to this theory, okay? Now, here's some details and context, and thank you, Adara, for adding this, by the way. So the role of alpha within the EMH, okay? So proponents of EMH argue that it's impossible to consistently generate alpha, which is an abnormal rate or an edge in the market. The only way to consistently beat the market, according to this theory, is through purchasing riskier investments, and they kind of frown upon that whole look. And then there's something called the Morningstar study. This was done in June of 2019. It was published in Morningstar, and it found actually that there was some validity to this theory, to EMH. The study found that over a 10-year period from around June 2009 to June 2019, 23%, believe it or not, of active managers followed in the study could outperform the composite of the relative index or ETF. So essentially only 23% of active fund managers could outperform the market. And this is something we know that this is quite accurate, because when you look at a fund manager or you look at a particular group, a hedge fund, a sovereign wealth fund, they're often judged about how well they did versus the S&P on any given year, right? Did you outperform or underperform the S&P? And so I know for a fact that most people underperform the S&P, right? And so there would be some validity to this idea. So here are some criticisms and real world considerations for EMH. So the market bubbles. So critics of this theory point to the historical market bubbles, like for example, the dot-com bubble crash, as evidence that prices can often deviate significantly from the intrinsic value. Anybody who's around in the late 90s, early 2000s knows exactly what I'm talking about. There's also the issue of behavioral biases. So critics argue that what's going on? Everything okay? Some critics argue that human biases and emotions can lead to market inefficiencies that skilled investors can exploit. And I definitely tend to agree with that. And then there's also the limited scope of this hypothesis, right? This is primarily focusing on stock markets and its applicability to other financial instruments and markets like derivatives can and is often debated. And there are definitely some exceptions to this rule, right? So some stock pickers like Warren Buffett have been able to outperform the market consistently over a long period of time through investing in assets that are perceived as undervalued, right? And so his whole pitch was with Charlie Munger, you buy the best companies at a fair price rather than trying to buy the crappiest companies at the best price and try to make some little upside here. And just to conclude this whole thing, EMH, you know, as much as I do disagree with some of its aspects, it provides a valuable framework for understanding the market efficiency and the challenges in the market and how to achieve consistent above average returns, or whether that is feasible or not. Whether you believe in the stricter interpretation, it remains an influential theory that has provoked a lot of research and a lot of debate amongst market commentators. Questions or comments, Adara?
Yeah, no, I think too what was really interesting about that Morningstar study is it also mentions, I think as Neil and Sean were saying, this is the theory that day traders aren't interested in, right? Because even that it does prove that while, you know, active investors were outnumbered by these funds, that was over a 10-year period.
Right.
So if you're day trading, you really have to react as the market's reacting, right? You have to be a little bit more quick on the draw. And so I think that's why it's interesting to look at that study with regards to, yes, that did prove something, but it proved something on a much smaller, a much larger scale, sorry. So I think that's really interesting. And again, also the whole Warren Buffett buying good companies at fair prices.
Right.
In and of itself kind of makes you say, to the EMH.
Things that make you
sure.
go, Do you remember that song?
Yeah.
It's a little older.
Throwback. How
What's
are you
your look
doing?
over there?
Oh, what's the look over here? The look over here is mostly positive. I did say in the chat, I accidentally fat-fingered some Microsoft here, but honestly, still going well, and I want to explain. Got it at the bottom of this range here. I see a range. I get excited. Basically, the whole thesis of this trade. I like this bottom at that 412.20. I was waiting for that bounce off 412 to really feel confident in the trade. If we didn't bounce off 412, I'm not staying in the trade. We bounced off 412 like a charm. I had my first part of my position out at 412.50, which might have been a little bit earlier in retrospect, but at that point it was the bottom of the range, or sorry, the top of the range. Then we keep going up, so I save a piece for the dream. I get part out around where we had that earlier high at that 413. On the way to that, though, I accidentally did add some while trying to place my order, but that's okay. We're still, the DCA isn't bad right now. We're at 412.75, so we're up in the money right now. Getting some out at that 413.20 area if we get back there. Then what I'm gonna do is a shout out to Sharif, always looking at these previous day close. This previous day close at 413.64 combined with this pop into that area earlier is really spicy to me, so I don't wanna be there beyond 413.64. We're probably gonna get out around 413, 55s, 50s areas, but I like this this look right now. But really, the main thing I'm looking at, this meta curl is interesting.
Yeah.
But you know, we could call meta spreada probably recently. The spread on that name has been wild. You and I were talking about this yesterday, so this is not really as rangy a look as I would normally be interested in. I'm gonna have to. Oh, Sean's throwing the money over here.
What's going on, Katina, man? Enlighten us. Meta. I just pulled it up actually. I gotta agree. The Katina Man is long 497.50, essentially bottom wick right over here on this name. And now we're talking about $2.5 in the money as it knocks on the door of 500 yet again. That door got opened earlier today when it popped up into that 501. Let's just say 501 mid 80s, and now we're down below 500, but we're doing the dance with no pants here south of that 500 level. I think Meta probably ends up taking this level, especially on the market strength. We're above 18.2 right now. We're dancing with 18.2 and a third. I've got a dip trade set up here on the MNQ to defend 18.2. Now, I don't like it just because it's 18.2, but I'd like it for the technical reason. Let me just show you exactly what I'm looking at over here, and then I'm going to talk about this new small capper that just showed up on my list. So here's the top, in essentially at 18,197. We top out there, we reject, we dip back down to 18,150, and then that huge market push at around, let's say 10:30 or so came in, and we were uninterrupted green candles through the break of 18.2. So if we do come back down and defend 18.2, it's not just because I'm getting in because it's a 100-point level. No, there is a price technical level there. There is a key level of previous resistance, which I will hope is a new area of support. So I've already got a dip trade, but something tells me the market may not come back into that retracement level. We're going to pack our patience and continue to watch that. Now, before I get to that small cap gapper that just popped up, MTC. I already talked about NVIDIA and how it's a rocket, but with respect to Tesla, a bit of a double bottom right now, a possible double bottom at 199. It's pushed Tesla above 200 again. It's not on a closing basis though, and then I'm a little concerned with 200. Look at all these prints over here at 200 on Tesla. Look at all these topping tail candles through 200, but all the prints are either at or south of 200, meaning something is really pushing this bad boy below 200. So I want to see, do we get that break and hold above that key 200 level? We haven't printed above 200 since 9:35 this morning on TSLA on a closing basis on the 5-minute chart is what I'm talking about. We're right back at that 50 period right now. So I could be persuaded to get into TSLA if it continues its strength and holds above that level. And then obviously Meta, you guys know, I just talked about that. But there's this other stock, MTC, MM Tech is the name of the company. Let's talk a little bit about the details. It's a larger float, about 200 million shares or thereabouts, 198 million. The market cap is not small, $480 million market cap. This one started its life this morning at $1.33, and we just topped out there at $2.55. Now, this has got a lot of the check marks beside its name for me for small caps. One, we have that clearly definable pre-market high. At 8:15, we printed almost $2.75. The high of the day right now after the bell is 255. So the official HOD is 255, but we know we printed higher than that in the pre-market. It's above VWAP as well. VWAP on my chart is around 210. So if this one can break and hold above 275, I'm going to be very interested in taking this name. Hit it, Katina Man. Meta continuing to pump. Where is it? Above 500? Okay, let's just have a look at Meta real quick here because the Katina Man just alerted me. 500 and a third. Meta's on the way up, baby. Curling up. Keep your eye on that 501.81 area or 502 thereabouts. That is where we may encounter some resistance owing to this crest over here in the previous high that we made on the day. But to go back quickly here to MTC, I'm going to probably have an order out for this bad boy above that 2 3/4. If it triggers, I want all the smoke.
Yeah, well, all the smoke is wanted heading into this Friday. I know earlier you were saying free fall Friday. I saw some people in the chat saying FOMO Friday.
Okay.
It could be either. All we know is it is a Friday, and it is freaking wild. I don't know. It's a lot. It's going to be fantastic. And we're going to bring the heat and the smoke to this market. Also, it was really funny because Danny H said plug ripping, and right before he commented that, I literally put, this is really funny because this is actually right before I had pulled this up about a second before I saw this comment. Look at this plug power chart. This is insane to me. We were up, no, sorry, we were never really up. We were down about 9%. I was looking, actually pulled this up because I like this range. Do you know what I mean? Like I saw this range earlier and I was like, this is tasty. Then we get this topping tail candle, which would usually predict more downside. It just falls back to the bottom of the range, then decides it would like to continue to pump. Thank you very much. So nice look here for plug power. I'm breathing in the hydrogen. That didn't really work, but you know, nice look here for PLUG. I thought it was just really funny that I noticed this at the same time. Danny H in the chat was pulling this one up. Diamond Realty of Miami saying hashtag Freaky Friday. Yeah, I think the market's certainly agreeing with your message there. This has been what a look here. What a look here. Philip Sanchez saying, what about Free for All Friday? Yeah, I think it's something. It's something for sure. Also, Adam DeLuce saying don't bail out of Microsoft. Yeah, what I'm going to do though is I do want to get part of the position out at this area of resistance because this is such an area of resistance. I don't want to mess with it. And that's going to be that 413.20. I have an outset for 413.10. I also feel that this resistance to me was confirmed by the fact that this candle I got out at, the high here, was 413.16. So I think there is something to this. You know what I mean? If you go back as well earlier, we've had a couple examples of this being an area of resistance for whatever reason. For our pal Microsoft, we get up here once, get up here a little bit, chop and churn, come back down, and then we test it, fail to break it. So I do want part of the position safe and secure up in a little blanket of profit at that 413.20 area. If we come back to VWAP, I will add a little bit to this as well. But right now, I just want to make sure I have a little bit more profit secured. Honestly, really, really happy I'm just able to start this Friday with a range trade that I'm comfortable with. Something that you said to me last week that really stuck with me is just, you know, making sure that you're finding the kind of trades that you're comfortable with, right? And like, as you said to me, there's usually going to be some ranges in some parts of the market as long as you're kind of looking for them. And if you're able to find them, then that's awesome. And so I was really happy that this was able to work out. I am going to be getting ready to get out the rest of this should we get into that 413.54 area, which is going to be about 10 cents shy of yesterday's closing price. As you know, per Sharif, I do understand the importance of the yesterday closing price. Yes, it can play a role. I also like that we had this rejection here earlier around that same area. So I do not trust this level. I do not trust that candle. But I do trust that Microsoft is going to keep pumping. And if it doesn't, I'm getting out around VWAP. I'm either going to reload or get out if we break below that 412.60 area. Because we held that 412.60 with a bizarre intensity that I do not want to look past. So there, and it happened to be with VWAP. Like what you were saying with the future at 18.2, it's not just because it's 18.2, it's because it's 18.2 and also a key level. And that's the same thing I have to say about Microsoft here around that 412.60 range. So I'm happy with this trade.
Go.
If it keeps going, you know, could I stay longer? Maybe, but really it's just not my type of trade. I don't really want to be forcing myself into doing the types of moves that I'm not super comfy with. But yeah, thank you so much to Adam DeLuce and everybody in the chat. Really happy with this and just really enjoying the market thus far because it has had some really spicy opportunities if you were an HODL, a hold on for dear life type person, but also nice to see that it has some little spicy ranges as well. Also Google, let's pull up Google. Yeah, Google, a bit of a Gemini move here. That was an intentional pun. We had a big move up, now we have a big move down. And honestly, if you want to talk about twins, look at this. We have this higher, we have this high, then we have a lower high, then we go down. Now we get to the bottom here, we have a low and then a slightly higher low. So honestly, kind of an inverse pattern here on the GOOGL. So yeah, you don't have to really, I guess you do kind of have to like search around a little bit here for the trend. We had a big move down. Now it looks like we're trying to make higher highs and pop back up. So I don't have a clear read on this. If we had a rejection though of that 137.75 again, I would probably short that. So I'm going to be watching and see what we do at this level. But yeah, the Microsoft still getting there. We're almost at my area of exit. Thank you so much, Jordan Smith. I'm happy that the price ended up working out. I believe, Jordan, I saw you mentioning NVIDIA in the chat. I don't know if you are involved in that, but let's pull up NVDA because this is a fantastic look. NVIDIA saying, yeah, 818, trying to get near 820. This is a really nice one. And I honestly am really sad I missed this little rangy area that we had briefly around 809 to 806. Also seeing some people here in the chat. I am not sick. My throat is doing a thing. So it does this sometimes, as you know, I was talking about Sharif with this yesterday, where it just decides it would like to be a little bit difficult. And so lots of tea. Thank you very much to Sharif for getting me tea at the big desk. I have another tea in my Trader TV Live, TEA. mug as well. So we're going to keep drinking that, and we're going to keep sipping the tea that this market is giving us because it is quite delectable. How are you doing in your small cap if you're able to talk about it?
We took a piece out at 69. The other area here we're waiting for is 79. We'll look to take a little bit out there, but there's a topping tail candle in the 5-minute look that I don't like. I have my stop through the break of 35 because that was the low of the previous candle, but there seems to be a buyer at 50, and I don't know if I want to be in this any longer if 50 breaks. So here it comes. It looks like it's going to break now. It does. Let's just give this a couple of more shekels. I'm long 58. It's now the seller's coming in. You can see by the tape a lot of red coming in right now on the tape. I just don't want the bottom to drop off this. Let's see what we do. And right back above 50 we go. And that's why I didn't want to get out because it had previously done that. That's a specialist breakout, guys. It'll push you below that level and then they'll take it right back up. You just don't know which way this is going to go. That's why I put beak wetters at different close levels, well, for exactly that reason. This is not Meta. This is not Apple. It's a highly unpredictable name, and so I always have one finger on the flatten, and I have my profit takers there in case the bottom drops off. Right back into the 60s we go. Let's see if we get that move. We got to move into the 70s. In fact, we got a 74 print, but I'm sitting at 79. This is the look on the 5-minute chart, and this is why I'm saying I'm a little worried. I don't like topping tail candles, especially on small cap gappers. And this is the candle I'm talking about right here. Big move up through 280, and then you had a big move right back down. But this is, it did break above the pre-market high. It is above VWAP. Does it have a catalyst, this thing? What the hell is this thing up for? Okay, I don't even want to bother looking right now. I have to look at the price action. So now it's slowing down a little bit with respect to the amount of shares being traded on this name, the volume dropping off just a smidge, and that's not good for the longs, quite frankly, right? So you need volume for the longs to come in, but the volume can pop in any minute. Right back down we go into 50 again. So trying to pack my patience on this one, but I'm trying to gauge where the buyers are. Where are the buyers stepping in? I saw a hidden buyer at 50, and then I saw another hidden buyer right at 49 because it wasn't dropping off despite the amount of red coming in there on the tape. So bamboozlement central with small cap gappers, that's to be expected. Let's see if we can get a move up through 79, Adara.
Yeah, let's hope we get that move into 79. That would awesome look there. I think, yeah, these small caps are certainly giving you lots of little opportunities to feast. I saw some people seeing Jumia as potential short squeeze. Oh, I guess I must have gotten the exchange wrong there. Let's see. If we're on, there we are on the NY. Yes, this one, I believe they had earnings recently. I feel like I've seen this one. Definitely had it on the small cap recap before. It's been an esteemed guest as a chart on the small cap recap at some point. My one thing with this, though, is that this topping tail candle, let's switch to the 5 because I can't even believe I'm on the 3. The 5, yeah, a little bit less prominent in the 5, but certainly a little bit of an issue here getting into that 695. Not a bearish engulfing, mind you, but certainly a bearish like buddy. Like it's sticking right there, almost making up the entire movement here. And now we're kind of falling below that 9 EMA. I want to see how much the short float is, though, because some people were mentioning it looks a little squeezy. I think that move down, to me, I would probably need to move back up to kind of suggest that, because I think we had that massive push. This to me looked a little bit squeezy. Then we fell. It could be a bull flag, but again, we want to participate and not anticipate. Okay. So I don't want to make any guesses as to how this is going to go down. Short float, okay, so what I'm seeing is 8%. So yeah, that's not, as Sharif would say, not negligible. Short interest of 8 million shares of a total float of 100 million shares. So not massive, but certainly not teeny tiny either. Hey. So yeah, interesting. I wanted to put that out. Also, Microsoft trying to get another pop back up here. Let's see if we can download some profit. That didn't make a lot of sense, but that's okay. We're in Microsoft. Also, it was interesting. I was talking to Adam DeLuce in the chat. And yeah, I really appreciate Adam saying, you know what, like, you know, it makes sense that you want to stay with your levels, but also try to expand your profit targets. And I appreciate that, and I agree with that. I think to me, even just getting out part of this position at that 413 area while holding some of it was kind of a bigger step for me. But I also think with myself, especially as I'm learning, the biggest thing I find too is if I expand too far, that's when I freak out, and that's when the trades get dicey. Like, even I have to say, I'm honestly pretty proud of myself for when I DCA'd there, not freaking, or because it was an accidental DCA, not freaking out and then just adding a little planned DCA baked into the movement, because that's how I'm able to still be in this trade. Otherwise I wouldn't have enough shares. So I think, yeah, honestly, just trying to learn a bit every day, but I really do appreciate what you're saying there, Adam DeLuce, and I'm definitely trying to grow and be a little bit comfortable. Like, honestly, honestly, I'm pretty proud of the fact that I haven't taken out my shares yet. So if we keep feeling that 413.20 area, I think it will get a little bit dicey for me just because that was a massive area of resistance, I think, pretty clearly here on the intraday chart. And I mean, if you look as well at this candle, our high price was 413.16. So I was really hoping that that 413.20 would come back and become an area of resistance, or sorry, support. The fact that it hasn't, a little bit dicey. Earlier, we're getting into that other previous area of resistance here. So if we hold this, I think this could get interesting. If not, I'm probably gonna have to say sayonara and exit this Microsoft trade. Vulcan, C-check, I'm so sorry, I definitely pronounced that wrong. SEK, Swedish kroner, 20 Swedish kroners here, super chat, thank you so much. Your take on CRM and AVGO?
Go, sorry, I just got excited. Go.
Do you want to talk about it?
No.
Okay, just want to make sure. Congrats to you, because it seems like that is a pamp it type time. Pamp. Yeah, your take on CRM and AVGO. Thanks for your energy, A, smiley face. Thank you so much, Vulcan, for your super chat and for your enthusiasm or participation for the show. We really do appreciate it. Let me pull up CRM and AVGO. CRM was chewing me up and spitting me out on Monday, let me tell you. This is a really nice look here on the intraday. Honestly, what I'm seeing right now, basically a pretty clear 9 EMA bounce. But one thing I want to note as well in the 5-minute, because I'm seeing this both on this earlier move and this one here as well, is it's going to be some chop and churn before we move up. I know this is really hypocritical of me to say this, but this might be one where you have to pack your patience. Not something I'm particularly good at, but I think if you get involved in this, right, because we'll get to an area, then we take a little while before we get the juices flowing and we pop back up. So if you're going to be involved in this game, I would be pretty cognizant. That being said, as long as we don't make a lower low, it looks like a pretty good look. And the 9 EMA bounce, again, not all of us are going to come into play, but this is a pretty nice one for CRM indeed. I'm going to look, did we get any analyst updates here? Also, my Microsoft is falling, so I'm going to have to check on her in a little bit.
I can take over if you want.
No, it's okay. It's not like super dicey yet, so I'm just going to keep an eye on that. But yeah, CRM, not seeing, yesterday we had a lot of price target increases. But yeah, CRM after earnings, great look. Let's look at AVGO, I believe, reports next week. I'm going to pull that up to confirm that.
Oh, that's going to be a big one.
Oh, right. Like last time, AVGO was like, hold my computer chip and ran an insane amount off of earnings. So I think this could be a fabulous look. Let's, or at least, at the very least, it's going to be exciting.
$300 on the last earnings? What was it?
It was I know you were involved in that, and you're like, oh, I got out early, but it was like $80 trade.
That
right?
was crazy.
And to get it $80 and be like, oh, I got out too soon, like, just think about that for a second.
But it was like
that's how crazy it was moving, yeah, right? And it was still like a really solid trade, but that's how insane this thing has been. This one, yes, so March 7th, after market close. So that is going to be next Thursday. So less than a week from today, we will be talking about the insanity that is Broadcom, which I'm sure will have a broad move, either to the upside or the downside. Right now, it's deciding it's already going to get going at almost 1375, 1.2 million volume, so not even insignificant here. Again, kind of similar to CRM, in that I do think you have to pack your patience because it's taking its sweet time to get hopping off these 9 EMA levels, but once it hops, right? So even here, we get to 1366, words I cannot believe I'm saying out loud, and then we pop, and then we get back up to 1365, then we make a higher low and fly to the upside with a viciousness. So I think this is a pretty nice look here for Broadcom. Hope that helps, and thank you very, very much for your super chat. Right now, I think I need to give Softy some tender love and care because she's getting a little bit stressed out.
All right, I'm still watching MTC, guys, and the reason I'm still in this, because every time we dip, I'm noticing, and there's no specific level off which you're getting that hidden buyer, but there's clearly a hidden buyer that's following this up, okay? And you can see that based on when it comes down, it seems to find these random areas of support at which there is no size. It's reflected on the book. Okay, so last time around it happened was around 70. We'll see if we can get that move right back up. Look, I'm not going to let any part of this trade go against me. It comes back into 58. We're ending it. We already have 2 beak wetters there. The next one is sitting just in front of $3. If I can get that, I just feel like aces, especially with the amount of volatility we've had on this name. We have a 92 high. I'm sitting around 95s or so. So if we can break through the high a day, here comes mid 80s. If we can see high 80s, we could have a good shot here at breaking through that level, but a lot of strength coming in on MTC, up 115, 116% on the day. It's been a big wicker in the sense that each 5-minute candle has big wicks, and they're like the range of each candle is quite wide. And why does that matter? Well, it needs to influence how you trade the stock. You can't have a tight stop on a name that's very rangy on a per candle basis. Right back down we go into the 70s. Let's see if we can make it back into the mid 80s here. So again, I've mentioned this before previously on the show. You have to look at how the stock is trading. If it's super tight and you put in a tight stop, maybe that works for you, but you're going to have to probably get in multiple times before you get the move that you want. Now, if that's how you trade, fantastic. You know the Neil, he loves to have tight stops. The Katina man, not so much. The Katina man likes to give his area or his trades room, and that's just how he rolls, right? With this particular name, I'm going to trade it on a per name basis, right? If the name is super rangy and super wide, I'll give it room. If it's super tight in its range, I won't, because then usually it'll means that it's breaking down and you're giving up the ghost at the level. And so that's how I see things. Anyway, still waiting here for that mid 90s print. If we get it, fantastic. If we don't, we're gonna bail out of this right at my entry at 58s. But so far so good. Profitability on a small cap gapper name that just came in on my chart not too long ago, Adara. Now look, this bad boy is up 70% since the bell rung. So this is not just, hey, I made a wicked move pre-market and then wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, I'm done for the day kind of thing. No, this has been pumping since the bell rang. It's up 112% on the day. That's from 4 a.m., all right, onwards. But since 9:30, it's up 70%. So that should show you that it's still getting that good momentum. In addition to that, in the last 5 minutes, it's done almost 3 million shares of volume. Now, I get it. It's a $2 name. 3 million shares is not the same thing on on a $100 name. So, but the volume is there to support it. Here we go in the mid 60s. We might be giving up the ghost here. If we break through 60, I'm flattening out the trade. I'm not going to let any part of this go against me. But if we pop back up again, I'll please this punch.
That would be great. And I mean, honestly, I'm pleased this punch for you.
Thank
I like
you.
the little beak wetters there as the ducks bob their way to the upside. So I think that's a really nice look. Or maybe the turtles bob their way up to the upside.
Oh, yeah. Hold on, we didn't even mention.
We have our turtle friend that Ramin let
so
us
his
use.
name again, Adara, because my memory's not what it used to be. Oh, so her name, Ram, I'm sorry.
Is it? It's Trenda Ticker, the trading turtle? It is.
Trenda. How do you say his name again?
Trenda Ticker, the trading turtle.
Oh, like ticker, okay.
Like
Trenda Ticker, the trading turtle, guys, all right? That's it right here. It may or may not have an Instagram account, but the fact of the matter is he's probably going to be here. Like the big kahunas have the bulls and the bears sometimes on their desk. We're going to have Trenda
Ticker?
Trenda Ticker.
Like Glenda or Glenda?
Yeah, okay. I'm
or
not very good
Brenda.
at this. Dare take over for a sec? I just got to get out.
Yeah, no worries, yeah.
Yep.
So I just saw this Microsoft and had a small moment. So I got out of this because literally, as Sharif says, it's always rough when you get out at bottom wick. That's what I did at Microsoft. Then we bounced, and I was like, I had to get out when I did because we broke below my level. We bounced, and I was like, you know what, Adara? Get into this VWAP, because this VWAP was an area of support earlier. If that support turns into resistance, this could get us ghost dicey. And if it does, if we break back below that 412.20 area again, because the bounce here has been like a trampoline at this level for whatever reason. I should have given it a little bit more room, but that's okay. We're going to keep pushing. My profit taker here, though, I'm not going to be staying too long. I'm going to be getting out right at that 413.20. Not a moment too soon. Also, I think Microsoft has kind of given up on me now a little bit, so that's a little sad. Not giving up the ghost entirely, but certainly questioning its life decisions a little bit. Also, live trading with Trader TV. Pardon? Okay. Okay, never mind. The comment has been redacted. But yeah, so Microsoft, though, hopefully not redacting this movement to the upside. Let's keep bouncing. I would be pleased as punch. I'm still profitable in this game because I didn't have that much left, thankfully, when we went down. But if we keep moving down here, that situation could change with the swiftness and with a voraciousness that I really hope it doesn't change with, because I like this look right now. We're going to have to see how this one goes. Other things looking kind of rangy. I'm just trying to keep my eye out here. I actually have, as per Sharif's suggestion yesterday, Mademoiselle Lily now gets a little place on my side chart. And I was looking at her, and I was like, I don't have much here yet, but I do kind of like that we had a pseudo double bounce at the 775. Then we have a little bit of a level at the 778. Now we're coming into 780.
Can I tell you something?
Yes, please do.
So I did an analysis on our stores yesterday, see how much we're dispensing of the GLP-1s. I looked on a year-over-year basis. it's several 100% increase. We're dispensing this.
Oh.
It's insane the amount that I never look at this stuff. That's not my area of like responsibility within the company, but it was insane. So like you wonder how much more room there is left, but the fact of the matter is they've got all these different ones, Adara. There's gonna be ones now that are just for fatty liver tissue. Specifically, because have you ever heard about that condition?
I've heard of it, but that's so specific.
And you can't lose that weight by doing exercise. So one on your liver tissue, right? So there's so many different GLP ones that are coming out. I was just reading through this yesterday, some of the materials that they send. Unreal. This is going to be a really interesting industry and so many different players. I feel like it's like the AI craze again. Everybody's coming at AI from a different angle. You might have a couple of winners like Lilly and Novo Nordisk and whatever, but it's super interesting. Sorry.
Thank you so much for that insight. No, I appreciate that. Yeah, right now, look, I want a little bit more evidence on Eli Lilly because I find this is a name that I can have a great day and you have one bad trade on Lilly and it's a really sad day. So we're going to be really cognizant here, but I do like the idea of looking at this. Mike Fidel asking, is AMD going over 200? I wish I could tell you definitively, but you know what? I can take a look at it for you for sure. Ooh, okay, so we popped over 200. We also actually eclipsed this earlier area, so if you thought this might have been head and shoulders, AMD's like, maybe not. We did make the higher high here. It could be lopsided, mind you. I don't want to assume any movements that haven't happened yet, but I do think that pop back decisively above that 199.50 is a nice look. Trying to top and turn around 200, but I do agree with you. There's some definitely a level at 200 here it's struggling with. I think that 201, we pop into 201.59, but this pseudo a top and tail candle, right? So we do have that big push up and then sellers saying, no, you didn't. And we close a little bit lower than you might have been implied by that pop down. I think this double bottom at 197 is not something to be messed with. This is a really nice look. But I think if we do pop down from that 200 area, could be nice. Yeah, I'd of course be watching what we do at 197. So I cannot give you an answer, Mike, but that is my analysis. I think the fact that we did make a slightly higher high above that 199 area that we had earlier is promising, but it doesn't mean anything until we see some follow through. Willis Addison, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Let's go, Apple intraday puts, 180.30. March 8th, expiry. There's a money bag and a down emoji. So it took me, I was like, what's a money bag for a second there, apparently.
I want to answer a couple of questions.
Please do.
So Zenod says, what small caps are moving? I would suggest you look at MTC, Zenod. Have a look at that. We just had a couple of good trades on this, couple of outs, flattened out, break even on the remaining amount. Kind of feel bad. Should have put my line in the sand at the $0.50 and let this one run through possibly the top. So keep your eye on MTC. It's number one gapper on my list right now, up 106%. Ponzi Fonzie says, who is this turtle? My friend, this is the new trading turtle. What is it called again?
Trend a ticker?
Trend a ticker. The trading turtle. Ponzi, be nice to this turtle. Who? Oh no. Cat in the Hat apparently gifted Ram that turtle before she parted ways and left us. But yeah, shout out to Cat in the Hat, Miss Cat in the Hat. She's still liking a lot of the videos.
Yeah, I know, I love
the new videos that we put. She's a fan of that. Big Kyle Burdett, what's up, Big Kyle? I see you there. Amazon 178 short start to working. All right, let's have a look at, and he's short Tesla 201 as well on the retest. Shout out to Big Kyle Burdett. Let's have a look at those Ram. So here we go. He said 178 short. Here's Amazon. We have a HOD, a bit of a double top there on the 5, 2 wicks into that 178.20, and then Huadunk went the dynamite. We go down into that 177 3/4, still holding that 10 EMA though, Big Kyle. So keep your eye as well at this level. Here's the reason I say that. Look at that institutional level print at 8 a.m. right at this level. Look at the pre-market high at around 4:30 right at this level. So I'm not saying we hold up here, but just be cognizant of this exact level that we're at right now. Now, with respect to Stressla, we were singing the praise of Stressla. We were saying double bottom, this, that, and the other, 199 hold, but we had issues with 200. Well, we broke through 200. Now, Big Kyle looking to short this bad boy off 201. Shout out to you, Kyle. Clearly a consolidation bottom from the pre, because we were well above that 201 level in the pre. We were actually holding 201 as a level of support, but then came that 905 time slot. We broke through 201, weren't able to take it again at the open there at the IB high on Tesla right now is essentially the high of day, which is at 201.46, say 201.5. That also happens to jive very well with the pivot point, which is sitting literally at that 201.5. Fact of the matter that we've been trading and printing below pivots should, if you subscribe to the pivot theory or the pivot indicator, you should start with a bias of a short if the stock opens below the pivots. You should start with a bias of a long if the stock opens above pivots. Not a hard and fast rule and shouldn't be used in isolation, should be used in conjunction with other things. But that's essentially how you use it. But I really like that 199 double bottom on TSLA that we obviously didn't involve ourselves in. But please just punch with my trade on MTC. I've had multiple trades today. In fact, I've traded Dell profitably, MTC profitably, and Zscaler. I've lost on PanW, so I'm 3 for 1 on the day. PanW, I'll cover all those trades after the Neil drops hot lines at the noon hour. But right now, keeping my eye on Tesla, keeping my eye on Meta, and Amazon. What are you looking at?
Congrats, that's an awesome look.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, and then MTC was fabulous. Like I said, I love how it's just little beak wetters along the way there.
And it went to 3 and I missed it. I mean, I should have put my line in the same. Can I analyze this trade? Because I want to show everyone what I think I did wrong, which was to trade my entry. And sometimes with these volatile names, you end up trading based upon your entry and not upon the technicals, and I did that here. So that's a mistake on my part. I should have had my line in the sand at the $0.50. It showed me multiple times. Let me zoom in so you guys can see what I'm talking about. That it was holding up at the $0.50. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 bounces each on that $0.50 area. So I should have been alive to the fact that there was clearly a buyer there and not worried about my entry at 58 and rather risk those 8 pennies to try and make 30. Right, because it did come up into 3. In fact, the higher day right now is that 299 area. I had my beak wetter at 95, so it would have been printed. That's my mistake, but hopefully, you win or learn. So this time maybe I did both.
Yeah, no, I think the win or learn thing is really helpful, and as you've said, that I've definitely kept in mind and agreed with is, as a trader, you're always angry. So
820 NVIDIA.
820 NVIDIA. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm still in this Microsoft. I kind of noticed this on the way up too. We're struggling with 412.80. I got involved in this too late. I don't want to say it was a revenge trade, but I would say it was certainly like a bit more of an impulsive trade. I thought the range was going to hold up. We struggled a little bit with it. That's okay. If I take 20 pennies with this, I'll be happy. I'm going to be really honest here. And we're still profitable on the name, so that's why I say I don't want to say revenge. Maybe avenge, but probably more likely it's just impulsive and I'm trying to justify it. I'm going to be really honest here, because that's what we're all about at How to Trade. Also, yeah, just to look at the rest of Apple for that super chat from Willis Addison. Yeah, we had that curl down. This is a really nice look here for that short. You said 180.30, so yeah, congrats to you on those puts. That's a fantastic look for you for Apple, and happy to hear that you are printing. Also, a hilarious interaction going on in the chat that I must draw your attention to if you're not aware of it. Rich Law saying ram should get a lamb, and Ramin herself responding with, not a ram, why a lamb? So,
we need a ram cam.
A ram cam.
A ram cam. And there is one, but she controls it. So it's like, we can't, there it is. Come on, ram. I told the Chilean Nightmare that I wanted an override button on the stream deck over here so that when we want to put the camera on Ram and then she wants to take it off, we have an override button. But I have a feeling she may override the override button.
I was going to say she 100%. Right? Well, it's like when you and Neil get to your like and subscribe wars.
Right? Yeah, exactly. We need like a button that like, oh wow, Neil.
I shouldn't have said that.
Of course, Neil.
That was my fault.
Of course, Neil.
That was horrible. I feel like I kind of led to that, so I'm very sorry. But also, I'm seeing if we have another super chat too that I'd love to talk about. Butt crackers, 199 super chat. Bitcoin halving this month. Took long call on Mara. Let's look at Mara. Yeah, we're gonna look at. Okay, actually, Mara on the daily is beautiful in a rangy way, or sorry, the intraday, but I'm gonna look at the longer term for you. But look at this 2650 rejection, look at this double bottom. The range trader in me says, oh. So I like this as much as I do not trust Bitcoin related stocks, so they only answer to Mother Bitcoin and not to technicals. If this wasn't a Bitcoin stock, I'd trade this in a heartbeat. But that's okay. Another day, another dollar. But for now, we are going to look at the daily here for butt crackers for this Mara look. So yeah, I've talked about this a couple times. My one thing.
What is that?
His name is Butt Crackers.
Oh, I thought like legit. I thought there was a pattern called butt crackers.
No,
or something. I'm like,
I should have said that.
On?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It's the name of the person in the chat. But but yeah. So I think this is interesting. We have this.
Neil almost choked apparently.
I'm really sorry, guys.
No, that's funny.
Just reading the name.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much again to Butt Crackers for your super chat. But yeah, I've been saying, I think, and I said this a couple times, I think this 32 area could be extremely interesting for Mara. And I say that because we've had not one, not two, but 3 rejections now of this, although this last high was slightly higher. Now, I also think what's interesting, though, is why I don't necessarily want to say flat bottom is because the other way you could interpret this is there's a bit of a shoulder here and a bit of a shoulder here. This could be an inverse head and shoulders move, but it's also not super down either, right? Like we're certainly above that earlier high. So the point I'm trying to make is there are a lot of, to use a Sharifism, bamboozling things happening in this chart. I would be very cognizant, though, of that 32 level because I think there's a couple of different ways that this could play out. And I think the 32 level, for some reason, certainly proving to be of psychological intrigue to MARA. So that's, yeah, that's my look on that. I think it's certainly an interesting one and one that I want to look at. I did get out of Microsoft. It did pop up. We're trying not to have a FOMO move here. I got my 20 cents. I had my reasons for leaving, which are just that psychological level of 412.80 for whatever reason. If this range keeps popping up, I'm going to get involved at a better price than where I got involved because these last couple triangles are pretty dicey. This is the only name I've traded so far. I'm going to be really honest, but I was looking for something rangy. This one gave that, and it has been a profitable trade. So I'm pretty happy with that indeed. No complaints here. Let's look at NVDA. Sunil saying it's hilarious how you say sorry. It's probably a Canadian thing. Like I know I've heard like Canadians say sorry weirder. I don't know, but yeah, I heard it before. I think it is the Canadian accent potentially coming into play. This 820 area on NVIDIA. If I was a braver soul, I'd probably play around this range. We have that 818 area into that. Not quite 820, probably 819.83. We've broken above 820, mind you. The only thing that scares me out of this range is look at this top and tail candle. We had that massive move into 820. If I short the bottom of this range, who says this isn't gonna fly back down with a swiftness, right? So I'd love to be a braver soul than I am. Right now, the soul that I am is a little bit scared of NVIDIA, which I think you could argue there is some validity to that because NVIDIA is,
well, it's a prop firm, Darren. We're not trading with our own money. We can just shut down like that.
Yeah, right. I don't want to like throw all my shares at NVIDIA, but I was just saying I think this range is fascinating, right? Like that 818 into the 819.50. It's super tight. It's just, you know, with it being NVIDIA, if this was another stock, I'd be like, same with that Mara look. You can like a look and understand that it's not right for you because A, it's not your style of trading. Exactly. B, the stock is so volatile you can't mess with it. So I'm trying to learn that not every look that's a good look is psychologically a good look. That was
I want to cover ARM. Neil letting me know that ARM is moving, guys. Yet again, bless you, Ram. 2 1/3%. Here's my look. All right, we obviously had a top here at 144 initially, and then we rejected, consolidated, accumulated, remember Dow theory, at that 143 general area. We ended up breaking 143 with the viciousness, as my friend Adair likes to say, and we popped up into 145. So if you're inclined to get a trade on this name, my suggestion to you would be to look for a 144 dip bounce. Why? Because, well, we know that's a former area of resistance. You may not get the 144 exactly. You may have to, you know, 144.20, 144.25, general area. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to give this dollars at a time in room, though. Just look at the range, and you'll understand why. Anyway, so I'm looking possibly here for that 144 dip. But before I talk about that, before I get into that, let me talk about this, which is Bivy, B-I-V-I. Shout out to Hamptons Trader. He wanted me to look at this. All right, Hamptons Trader, one of the OGs there in the chat. Shout out to you. Now, Hamptons Trader, what are my rules for small cap gapper? You know what they are, I hope you know. Above VWAP, above the pre-market high. This is neither, sadly, right? We have a 420 top there on BIVI, but look what time that came in. That printed at 805. So that's not an after 9:30 print. In fact, you can know which one is the 9:30 candle owing to the volume. It's always the biggest volume candle usually is 4 and 9:30, okay? So this is the 9:30 print right here. You pop up and the high of day is 331. We made that high right at 9:30 and then look what we did. Lower highs, lower lows. It's a downward channel breaking through VWAP. We're trying to hold 2 right now. Technically the low of the day is 203. So for me, this is not tradable until it is above VWAP and it is above that 420 pre-market high. I want nothing to do with it otherwise. That's just my personal opinion on how I trade these small cap gappers. Feel free to do as you like though. And look at MTC. I'm a bad trader, bro.
Say that.
I'm a bad trader, bro. I mean, I'm traded my P&L rather than trade the actual setup. MTC was the one. I should have let this one go. I should have put a stop and a profit taker and not looked at it. I'm going to feel really bad about this trade, but this is rocketing up. I would have had $1 on a $3 name had I been more patient. Pack your patience, people. Don't be a bad trader like me. What a fantastic move up for MTC, breaking through tops, breaking through 383. We could easily see $4 on the day. What a beautiful stock. Again, above VWAP, above the pre-market high. There are only 2 rules here that we really need to concern ourselves with these small cap cappers. So yeah, now back to ARM. It's now dipping below 144. So what's the move here? Well, the move is it's a 30-penny spread. And it's dipping below 144 because it's just marginally lower on the bid, but the ask is right at that 144. So as my friend Neil likes to say, let's get this one on the back end to prove to us that that 144 is going to be a support level, that it was in fact respected previously as a resistance, now a support. We don't have to get the bottom wick, but we can participate in the name Adair.
Yeah, no, I just want to say first, thank you so much to Nando's Art for the very kind comment in the chat. Really appreciate it. I would say I am very hungry to learn and trying to get better every single day. So thank you so much for the support and everybody in the community here. Fat Figa saying some words that I'm trying to agree with here. Get the lower, let it go. You can't get into a movement too late. I really enjoy that.
Very good
also,
point.
and that reminds me of how I feel right now about Dell, which I pulled up for Vic. Caputi Electronic Music, a couple people in the chat asking about this name, and I will oblige. And I actually drew some levels I like on it too. So I like this. I mean, it's not a perfect area of resistance and support, which is why this line is slightly lopsided. But we had that resistance right in the pre-market of about 117.75. Then we come back down to this 117.75, and look at all these failed wicks to the downside here. Buyers saying, no, you do not. Then we pop, old man finger. Then we get up into that 120. 120.25 area, right? Then we come back down. Where to come back down? Basically the same area, 118, so about 25 pennies higher. Stock like Dell, 25 pennies is pretty much the same level, right?
That's a great, did you draw that trend line right there?
I did, yeah.
And do you notice how it bounces off that former support, but now is, former resistance now is support?
Right?
What a fantastic.
And it does it again. It does it again. We get into that 120 and some change, and then we're bouncing again. Thank you so much. Yeah. But I think one thing makes me nervous. We can't get into VWAP. However, if I can finagle or bamboozle a way into this 120 area and we take it up into VWAP, I'd be very happy with this. If we break down kind of below into that 119, 119.50 area, then I'm going to have to say no. So we give it about 50 cents. But I think if we can get into this and it shows some signs of wanting to go higher, I like this look. Thank you so much. I'm just trying to learn how to draw trend lines. And I think, this Dell is really interesting and something that I actually like shocked by how cool this is and how much this, as you said, sometimes stocks will disrespect levels. Always good to look at these levels. Dell is screaming at you to pay attention to these levels. So.
And you know what's interesting? Dell and HP, 2 companies, just from their face, you would have said, they're probably similar. They both make laptops, both make computers, and completely different earnings reports.
It's true.
Because one is focusing on expanding AI data centers. The other was like, I don't know, hey, what's AI, right? Like,
what's AI?
No, seriously though, like why is one doing so well and not the other? Neil's laughing up a storm over there.
He's like, no cameras, please. No paparazzi.
No, but seriously, I mean, have you guys looked at HP? Let's pull it up. Because it got absolutely rinsed on that earnings report yesterday. Here it is. Oops, nope, that's not it. What's HP's, Neil, what's HP's ticker? Do you know? HPE? Yes, it is. Thank you. Whoever is. Yeah, wow, Fabian, bro. And so, yeah, look, oh, what's that? Yeah, I know, I know. Adara has it, I don't use it. There's the big earnings miss.
What?
Adara uses the autofill, don't you? On your ticker?
Oh, no, I don't. It doesn't even work for me.
No?
Yeah, if I show you, I can show you right now. It used
I'm
to.
pretty sure it worked for you before. Oh, wow, it doesn't work anymore. Because you did have it.
I did have it, and then my keeper weight crashed one too many times. I guess decided I'm not going to give this back to you anymore, Dara. Good luck, so.
But look, okay, so I kind of stand corrected about HP here. It tanked yesterday at 4 o'clock, but it shot up this morning. Again, was there earnings call this morning? Maybe, because that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Anyway, I'll have a look at it after, but HP, I guess it kind of made me eat my words there because it's right back above yesterday's close. Okay, HP, I see you, making me look bad. That's fine. All right, let's move on to some other trades. Guys, Apple still awfully weak, below 178 again. We're gonna have a look at this one in a bit. And Boeing doing the dance right now. So it popped up, popped back down. Now it's right back at that flat bottom that it made earlier. This was the trough that we got to around 200 and a third, 240 pennies. We're right back there right now. Do we hold this level? And if we do, are you taking it long here, or are you waiting for this neckline break around 201.5? That's what I'll do. I want proof that that's going to be a double bottom. So I'm going to continue to watch this one. Lots of names to trade today, not the least of which are the chips. We've got Boeing, we've got the Mag 7 in play, even these small cap gappers. It's been a great day.
Yeah, it's so funny because as you pulled up Boeing, I was looking at Boeing at my side chart and I was like, oh, Boeing and the double bottom. So it's funny that we both kind of,
right?
Because I didn't even realize we were talking, I heard double bottom and I was like, huh? The Scooby-Doo face. And then I look over and I'm like, that's same wavelength there for sure. Dell, I have a resting area to get in around that 120 area. Don't know if it'll get filled, but if it does, I think we have enough confirmation for me that I like the look of this right now. And I love when support becomes resistance. We certainly have that here with DELL. Yeah, no worries, Vic. I think it's a really cool chart. And yeah, really happy that we had some opportunities here in Dell. Also, Microsoft continues to be interesting to me. I know I keep, looking, I was going to say beating a dead horse, but I know that the phrase is looking a gift horse in the mouth. Either way, though, I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth because we had some good trades on this earlier, and we're making lower highs now. Speaking of which, Neil's lesson of the day you can catch very soon, in which we will not be looking gift horses in the mouth, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I think these lower highs, really interesting look. But again, until we come firmly back into that range, it gives me enough wiggle room with which to jump around. I'm going to have to probably say no for the time being. Yeah, that Dell look, honestly, I'm pretty happy with right now. Someone was asking me what's up with the Cybertruck. So yeah, let's take a look at TSLA. Also, it was really funny. I saw this thing on Twitter today where it was like Elon Musk is trying to pick fights with Disney. He's trying to get like one of the biggest media companies. He's trying to scrap with. No, I know you do. I'm not saying it in a bad way,
fights
but
with
he
everybody
is.
right now. You gotta love him. He's so combative.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, he is a combative individual, and you wouldn't be as successful and be able to do all the things that you've done, all the hard things that have been so hard to do if you were not a combative person.
That's
right?
true.
Apple low a day, guys, 177.63. Big Kyle Burdett asking me what the bid right now. Ram, if we can show Big Kyle the tape over here on Apple. It's a Chilean nightmare. My bad. Yeah, Kyle was asking me, he's like, look, is there a bid following up Apple? And I'm like, looking, it's super late. And I have almost every gateway available on what's it called, Real Trading. As you can see here, I've got even the inverse gateway showing up here on the tape. And there's not much size at all. Whatever level you're looking at 50s, you're looking at 60s. There isn't that much size, but we'll talk about Apple, we'll talk about Boeing, and much, much more when we get back from the daily lesson with my friend Neil.
Welcome to the trading lesson of the day, and it's a simple one. Nothing in life is free. Actually, that's technically not true, because you know what is free? Unconditional love from your family. That's absolutely free. But that's about the only deal you're gonna get. Everything else is gonna cost you. You wanna buy a new car, fork over that cash. You wanna make a trade, cost of doing business is accepting a loss. So what I wanna talk about is a mental tip that is gonna help you to organize and be confident and also be disciplined in your trading by understanding the cost of doing business. Now, one of my favorite analogies for this that I don't think I've said enough to some traders when I talk to them about risk management is try to picture, like, whatever your favorite sport is. If you like basketball, nobody cares if you got a triple-double, 30 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, if you got 20 turnovers. It doesn't matter. If you want to hit an 80-yard bomb in football every now and then, that's great. But if you're throwing picks left, right, and center, like Dak Prescott, then you're going to have a problem. The cost of every single throw is the risk that it might be incomplete or that you turn it over. It doesn't matter how many points you score if you're turning the ball over every other time you touch the ball. So you've got to understand what the cost of doing business is with your trades. And if you've already accepted that cost, then suddenly the loss doesn't matter. Think about a great player like a Michael Jordan or a LeBron James or a Kobe Bryant when they take that final shot. They already know that cost. You're down by 1, you need 2 points with seconds left. If they miss, team loses the game. That's a really simple example of that. Take the shot, you win. You have to take the shot to win or you're not going to win at all. It has to be taken or you're going to lose. In that case, you're going to lose anyway. So when you put it in that perspective, suddenly, go for it. Why not? No problem. Trading is kind of the same way. So before you get into a trade, the way I like to think about it is you're taking X number of shares at X price, and if you're wrong, you're getting out at Y. That theoretical loss is your cost of doing business. So before you punch into a trade, accept that loss right away. So if you're taking, I'll give an example because it was the first hit I took today, was a breakout on AMD at $200. So if I'm taking a breakout with the previous pre-market high, and we'll come to the chart for this one, guys, if I'm taking a breakout to the previous pre-market high and giving it a shot to go, I know that I'm going long when that bad boy breaks $200. I know that if it doesn't work right away, I'm stopping out back at that pre-market high. Now, if it's, let's say it's an 80-cent level, then I'm going to respect that and know that if you, look, regardless of how many shares you take, you're going to have an 80-cent hit plus a little bit of slippage. So let's call it 90 cents. That per share, as soon as I punch into the trade, it's gone. In my mind, I am down that amount of money. It's like when you put a Hail Mary up. You're accepting the fact that, hey, that could get picked off, but at the end of the game, it's worth it for that shot. So if you tell yourself, I'm now down that 80 cents, a couple of things happen. You accept that that is the worst that can happen to you. And it's easier to then get into the trade because you've accepted that loss before you've even gotten into it. So mentally, that can help you to get into trades in the first place. The second part of it is if you've already determined what that loss and what that wrong is going to be, you can start putting some upsized targets. And I'll give you an example by the second time I was into this trade on the breakout, because when it didn't work the first, I was in it again when it retook the 200, this time with a much tighter stop. Much, much tighter stop. I was only giving it to about 75. So in that case, I had mentally prepared myself for about 30 to 40 cents worth of a hit. And with that, my approach was much different. Taking 80-cent profit, taking a 90-cent profit, taking a $1.20 profit because I had mentally prepared myself for a 40-cent hit plus slippage. So you're geared into the trade that you're trying to make. And remember, when I was taking that first trade, you're risking 70 to 80 pennies. You know that could be it, closer to $1. That's got to go right away to 01s, 02s, because I've accepted that kind of a hit and I'm expecting it to be a bigger trade. So it doesn't just set you up to prepare for what can be the worst. It also puts you in the right frame of mind to take the relative gain on your trade. This becomes equally important, or maybe doubly important, when you start trading a stock a little bit away from your plan. Because I can tell you, a lot of times you can favor a direction on a stock and a certain entry price, and you have an entire risk plan set up for it, and then something a little bit different happens. And that happened over on FSR, and you've got to go through the same math, because I sat down wanting to short it into 50, thinking it could squeeze into that price, and then you'd short it at the 50 level, and then that would come back in, and I was expecting it to be that. But what happened at the open? It popped up, It rejected off 45, nowhere near that 50 level, and then came in and broke the previous low. So that set up a failed break at this high for an entry here. But while that happened, am I mentally preparing myself for 43.5 to 50, my original price? No. Before I get into that trade, I adjust my stop to here. That is 2.5 cents worth of risk. So instead of 9 cents to my previous level, no, it's 2.5 cents worth of risk when you get in. And then you ask yourself, can I accept it? Okay, fine. That is the amount that you are down at that moment. And then suddenly you can take that with a little bit more confidence. But before you punch in, know where you're out, know what that is going to cost you so that you can have a good expectation of your downside risk. Good athletes do this all the time. You're not going to see Tom Brady scan the field and make a throw, well, back when he used to play, and make a throw without assessing, well, what's the worst scenario if I throw a one-on-one ball down the sideline? What are the chances it gets picked? Is it worth taking this shot based on where we are in the game? And you've got to be able to process that as a trader as well. So it's a very important thing to do because ultimately, nobody cares how great the thing is that you bought. You go into a swap shop and buy what you think is like, hey, that's the coolest, I don't know, like maybe you're talking about like some cool card because I'm a card collector. Hey, I got a Wayne Gretzky rookie card and say it's worth a few $1,000s. Doesn't matter if you pay twice what it's worth. It doesn't matter how good the thing you buy is. You get a Maserati. But if you pay twice as much as it's worth, who gives a damn? You've paid too much for it. Your cost of doing business is that risk amount and what you are willing to lose. So if you can't make that, then don't take that trade. And that's an important thing for trading. You should know going into the trade how much that trade is costing you. And if you don't know how much it costs you, why are you buying the upside of the trade? You do not buy anything you don't know the cost of. So you got to determine that cost, and then you've got to make sure that trade is worth it. Because if you're sitting there losing 2x what you win, your account is going to get it blown up real quick. The cost of doing business when you trade is the amount you take relative to the loss you're willing to accept. If you can't wrap your head around that, you shouldn't be trading in the first place. And then when you can, all of a sudden you're going to be free and clear to take the trades that's set up for you and make sure you get the appropriate gain after you've gotten into them. That's the lesson of the day and the real deal. All about that mental prep.
Thank you, Neil. Informative, eloquent, and insightful as always. Shout out to the real deal. That is Neil. All right, guys, are we good to go, or what's the situation? Not ready yet. All right, so we're going to hang out. We have Jad and we have Pedro, the social media team extraordinaire. Every Tuesday, every Friday, we're going to be dropping hotlines with them. They're going to be telling us what's going on in social media world, what the hottest, latest finance trends are, and what's good in their world. So they'll be on momentarily. Shout out to them. While Neil was dropping hotlines, Tesla decided to jump on the SpaceX Falcon 2 Heavy, baby, or Falcon Heavy? Oh man, I don't even know, bro. Sometimes I just say weird things. But broke through that 201 top that we were talking about. This was the consolidated bottom, and then you had umpteen amount of wicks into that level, showing you a key level of resistance, but then the buyers stepped up and they said, no, sir, or no, ma'am, and here we go, breaking through 201. Now we're breaking through 202. Tesla on the way up. Is there a headline here for Tesla at the moment? I gotta see this. No, nothing really, nothing. It's all Elon sues this person, that person.
Any other person?
No. There's nothing right now on my blotter. That could change. But Tesla on the way up. There goes 202. So we're printing high days as we speak. Look, the institutional level prints at 8 a.m. They got into that 202 and 2/3. Make of those what you will. But that is a level that I'm going to be cognizant of. In addition to that level, though, say that again, Chileno. All right, thank you. In addition to that 202 and 2/3, I'm going to keep my eye on that 204 and 3/4 because that is where we topped out yesterday early on in the trading day, and that is exactly where resistance level 1 on pivots. 204.75, really get going. Keep your eye on that price, or that may be one of the profit targets that you may want to put out. But as advertised, we do have our very coveted social media team, Jad and Pedro. Guys, there we go.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
What's going on, guys? How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy
Happy
Friday.
Friday.
What's going on over there? Everything good? The weather's good?
Well, not where I am. I am currently in Portugal, and it's been terrible, and I had no power all day, so I barely made it, guys.
You're
And
kidding.
then now the power just came back.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you. You're able to actually chat with us today. How's that vacation
I
going,
know.
by the way? Lucky you.
It's great. I mean, I just came in for like 3 days. My buddy's like visiting from the US. So then
Okay.
we were like, you know what, let's go to Portugal. It's so close. And then Jad actually gave me amazing tips on the city and where I am. I'm in Porto right now. And
Love it.
she gave me all the best recommendations. So I'm here just, taking a few days. It's been really cool.
Beautiful country. Enjoy your time there. Jad, how are you?
I'm good. Paris is a little gloomy today, but that's okay. And I'm so glad that Pedro made it to Portugal. Porto is one of my favorite cities, so it's amazing.
Amazing. All right. What do we got in store for you today, Jad? I know you had some very interesting stuff with respect to Gen X. What's up?
Yes, well, I think Pedro wanted to start actually
Oh,
today,
sure.
so I'm going to let him go ahead.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Pedro.
Yes. Well, I was just going to say thank you to our audience because we have had such amazing feedback on Instagram and TikTok recently. On Instagram, everybody has been like, great content, you guys, like you're doing good. And we're just like, that just is so hot. Like, it's just so awesome that like people are talking to us. And then also we've gotten so many amazing like responses on TikTok as well from people like just young, like Gen Z traders and people that are like, think that what we're doing is just funny and entertaining and just like kind of lighten up the mood a little bit of what the stress can be like, like surrounding a little bit like trading and all of that every day. So I'm just really thankful for that. And I was just feeling also thankful for, just shout out to the Real Housewives and all of the series that they have, because the amount of memes that they have given us, guys, you have no idea. It's just amazing. And all the audios that we can use. So shout out to all the Real Housewives and all of them in every single city and state, because we love them and we just want to say thank you for everything you've provided us with. So.
I love it. It's like the Spider-Man meme. It's like usable in every different context. It doesn't really matter what's going on, right?
It's insane. No matter the niche, no matter what company you work for or what you're doing, there's something that they can give you.
That's amazing. That's awesome. All right. What do you have anything else for us?
Well, I was actually just gonna talk about a little bit of what I've seen on Instagram recently.
Yes.
And just actually Brendan sent us some amazing creators creating some awesome content within the trading sphere and the environment and all of that, and just educational and funny and entertaining and all of that. So I just want to say that there's going to be some new cool stuff coming into our Instagram as well. Just
Amazing.
with very educational, very entertaining, but at the same time, just super straight to the point and what Trader TV is all about. So I'm very excited for that. I want to just tell people to, just keep your eyes out, keep your eyes peeled. We're coming in with some new stuff. So
Awesome. And I really feel like we've been able to give the viewers a little bit of insight as to what it looks like behind the scenes here. You know what I mean? Look, with the pictures that you guys have put, what time everybody arrives, how people react to you want to do social media posts. So I think you guys are coming up with some great stuff, by the way. Hard work and keep putting it in, man.
Yeah, thanks. And I mean, we want to know, we want to know what you guys are up to, behind the cameras and all of that. So everybody on social media is a little nosy, we just want to be nosy.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, that's the thing about social media. You have to be willing to give up that side of you and let let people know exactly what you're up to. You can't really hide, too much. Jad, what do you have for us today?
Well, first of all, I want to start off by giving a shout out to the entire team for being so so amazing with filming the videos because obviously we're not in Toronto, we're not in Canada. So it's been a process, you know, having you guys film it and then send the videos over to us for editing. And everyone has been amazing. The acting skills are on point. You guys shoot honestly like award-winning performances have been going on. It's amazing. And I just what's been going on in my world today on TikTok is really about Gen Z work ethics and boundaries. And I've been talking about this with my friends recently. And it's true that Gen Z people working in, you know, like finance or even just business, just in corporations, they are very much like, this is my work, this is not my life. At 6 p.m., I'm off. And I think that's a very big generational switch from the millennials. And I don't know if you guys have, you know, I mean, we're the Gen Z in the office, but
I'm a millennial.
We have Phil Hilton that said, you know, I love you all, you're beautiful, and never forget that everyone is a princess. And that's many of the Gen Z outros that I see on TikTok right now.
Can I ask you something, Jad? Because I feel like when you work for a corporation, Gen Z, very good at cutting it off 5, 6 o'clock, whatever time it is. But you guys seem to be working for yourselves a lot more off camera, self-improvement, whatever your own side hustle. So
Absolutely.
Outside of regular working hours, I don't think Gen Z really takes work lightly with respect to their own side hustle. Is that been your experience as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Gen Z population has been trying to do work, but also just like work on themselves as well.
Yeah.
And that's a very big aspect of their lives. It's not only, my life is not only you know, like an 8 to 5 job or 9 to 5. It's a lot more than that.
Okay, amazing. Jad and Pedro, the best social media team on the internet, baby. We'll be sending you more content and keep those great ideas coming. Love having you guys as part of the team.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Have a
See you guys
good
Tuesday.
weekend, everybody.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Best social team on the internet. I see some triangles on that chart, and I see a smile come out. Tell us about it.
Yeah, thank you so much to Jad and Pedro, killing it. I apologize. I look like slightly dazed and lethargic. I had a small bite of a spicy chicken, and it has taken over my soul. But you know what also took over my soul is I was really happy with this meta trade. Rough transition, but it is what it is. So basically, I took a really small share size in this because I was a little bit nervous about this. It was a range here in this meta on the 3-minute. I noticed it because what I do is I usually trade off the 5-minute, but I have the 3-minute on my side charts because I do like scalping. I'm a little scalpier by nature. And so with that in mind, with scalping, you kind of need some of these smaller time frames sometimes, right? So I like this. I was really happy with this entry around that 500. I said if we get above, because we've had also, worth noting, we've had lower highs as well. So I thought if we break above this $500.70 area, I'm gonna leave. But we didn't. We got in. We dropped right back below. Thank you so much. I was pleased as punch. Got out at the bottom of the range. We scalped it out. It was supposed to be around, I was going to give it to like 599.40. We didn't get that low. I looked at the book. I switched it up to 599.55. Happy I did. Yeah, just like I said, just really trying to find these ranges, even in days like this where it feels like the market is moving in all these crazy ways. There's always opportunities for range trades. The spicy chicken is still knocking me out, but we're all here. I'm sorry, I can still feel it. But we're at good times, and we're really excited to talk about efficient market hypothesis. Have you been in any trades?
Sorry, I have to tell you guys Adira's face when she took the first bite. She's like, oh, there's spice in this. There's spice in this.
I also ate like barely any of it. Like I want to show how little of the chicken
That's some
has
great
been
looking
consumed.
pierogies, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
What is going on over here? Hydration.
It didn't help.
Eh? Those are samosas. Thank you, Katina, man. Those are not pierogies.
They're samosas.
Samosas.
But yeah, I took like no bites of this chicken too, and I'm already dead. I just want to put that out there. But yeah, yeah, I know, I failed. But
I told her, see, look what Zedster said. Get milk. Milk. See, everyone's saying milk, milk,
I
milk.
know, I should have gone milk. It's okay.
Yeah? Sorry, guys. Because she was drinking water, I told her it's either bread or milk. Forget about the water. The water is going to make it worse. But yeah, all right. All right, guys, we're talking about the efficient market hypothesis. We've been talking about market theories all week long. We started with Dow theory on Monday. We talked about Elliott waves on Tuesday, fibs on Wednesday, and yesterday we talked about the random walk theory. Yeah, RWT, right?
R-
Random
yeah,
walk
RWT.
theory, yes. And today we're finishing off with efficient market hypothesis. Thank you for that. All right, so efficient market hypothesis, EMH as it's called, is a cornerstone concept in finance, and it's sparking ongoing debate about how information influences investor decisions, investor and trader decisions. Today, we're going to unpack its core ideas and delve into the implications for both traders and investors. Let's start. So here's what the central idea is. So EMH posits that the market price reflects all available information out there, meaning that they accurately represent the intrinsic value of an asset at any given time. So this position has two main implications. The first is that prices adjust rapidly to new information, making it impossible, according to this theory, to consistently beat the market by buying undervalued assets or selling overvalued ones. I don't agree, but this is what it suggests. The other implication is the fair value of the asset. So stocks trade at their intrinsic value, which represents their true worth based on factors like future earnings and potential growth prospects. So the idea here is all information is already factored in. It's already, as we say in finance, discounted into the price, meaning that you are not going to be any wiser than anybody else out there, and you cannot make these, let's say, strategic moves to outmaneuver other investors or traders. Again, I don't agree, but that's the implications of this hypothesis. But there's not just one form of EMH. There's actually three with varying degrees. So the first one is called the weak form EMH, and this basically only takes into consideration publicly available price data and volume data for a particular instrument, nothing else. Forget about fundamentals, forget about insider information. It takes into consideration only publicly available price data and volume data. But obviously that's not realistic because we have more access to that. And that's where semi-strong form comes in. This type of form of EMH basically says that it takes into consideration all publicly available information, whether that's price and volume data or the fundamental aspects of things like earnings reports and economic data. All that is incorporated into this form. And then last but not least, there's a strong form. So that's all publicly available information and all private information. And I would say that very few people fall into this third category. Usually, people who are insider trading fall into that third category, who are making decisions on non-public information. One of the tests we had to do here on the prop floor is to be able to accurately describe what insider trading is and isn't. And basically, to make it very simple, anything that is publicly available information cannot be, if you use anything that's publicly available, you cannot be charged with insider trading. It's when it's not publicly available, that's when it becomes a little bit dicey. So here are the implications for investors and traders. So this is suggesting a passive form of investing. Essentially, where proponents of this EMH theory argue that trying to beat the market is futile. You're not going to do that according to this theory. Instead, they want you to invest in low-cost ETFs that track the indices, like the Qs, like the SPY, UVXY. There are so many others. Don't even bother listing them all. It doesn't even suggest getting into sector ETFs. No, it suggests low-cost, indice following ETFs. Again, I don't agree. However, the critics of this theory basically point to this very important implication, which is that it's unrealistic, is that EMH is unrealistic, and that skilled investors can exploit the inefficiencies that are present in markets by analyzing fundamental data or even using technical analysis. So that's one of the main criticisms of the efficient market hypothesis. So here's some details and context with respect to this particular theory or hypothesis. And the role of alpha plays a central role here, which is proponents of EMH argue that it's impossible to consistently generate alpha, which is an abnormal rate or an edge in the market. The only way really to consistently beat the market, according to this theory, is by purchasing riskier investments, which it doesn't suggest. Sure. It really depends on what this theory considers risky, I guess. And then there was a Morningstar study that tried to add some credence to this whole hypothesis. This took place, it was published back in June 2019 by Morningstar, and it did actually find some validity to the EMH. It found that over a 10-year period between 2009 to 2019, only 23% of active managers who were actively managing funds could actually outperform the market. And this is something that I tend to agree with here. And when you look at how many active managers can actually beat the S&P on a year-in, year-out basis, it's very few. I mean, we've heard about, Druckenmiller, always a trader, but he also has a fund, obviously. He outperforms the market. Warren Buffett, able to outperform the market. He didn't in 2022, though. But the point is being able to do it year in, year out, not just on a one-off basis. Now let's get to some criticisms, because this is where I fall in here. Opponents or detractors of this theory point to market bubbles, and they say, look, if this theory is so good, how come it wasn't able to predict the intrinsic value of an asset during the dot-com bubble? In fact, we know for a fact that prices were way inflated at that time and didn't actually represent the core value of the company. Forget about earnings. It didn't even represent their future potential within, like, say, a 10-year span, because it made you 14 years to get back your money if you invested at the height of the dot-com bubble, right? And then there's also behavioral biases that come into play here. So critics are arguing that the human biases and emotions can lead to market inefficiencies in and of themselves that skilled investors can then look to exploit. So humans, by participating and being human, really, in the market, can, by its very nature, create opportunities for the more skilled. I tend to agree with that. And they also, opponents of this theory also point to its limited scope. Basically, it only looks at the stock market and doesn't take into consideration other financial instruments like derivatives, for example. But there are exceptions, obviously, like everything. So some stock pickers like Warren Buffett have been able to outperform the market. Like I said, Druckenmiller, Buffett. There's a lot of other names that are not coming to me at the moment, but they are living proof that this theory is not the end-all and be-all. If it does have merit, it doesn't have merit with respect to application to everybody. And just to conclude here, guys. EMH provides a valuable framework for understanding market inefficiency and the challenges of achieving consistent above-average returns. Whether you believe in its strict interpretation or not, it remains an influential theory in finance and has sparked many debates and ongoing research amongst investors and financial economists, Sadara.
Yeah, no, I think it's, like I said too, I think it's interesting. We really want to emphasize, I think, the longer term aspects of this. Maybe it can be a little bit more useful with regards to that study from Morningstar. That was a 10-year study, right? In day trading, as Neil and Sean quite literally said when they whisked you all off over here to the wild side. No, I'm joking, just to the How to Trade show. They were saying, not really a thing that day traders can believe in, because with day trading, it's all about technical analysis, right? It's all about how the markets are reacting to earnings reports, so fundamental aspects. So it's a little bit different for day trading, but it could have, it could have some implications, A, for the, the longer term, and B, it's also worth noting, as much as it is heavily disputed and contested, it is a cornerstone of the financial studies. So something worth knowing maybe for that alone. Also, I'm so sorry, we got the super chat, I think, before the real deal with Neil, and I really want to talk about it. Sorry for the lateness. Willis Addison, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Send it, market maker. Apple downgrades matter. Dollars bag puts. Yeah, congrats to you. This is awesome. And also, I like this look we kind of have here that moved down, then we pop back up, but also we're kind of curling around that earlier area. Not perfect, but it's kind of around the earlier area that we had a bit of resistance there at that 178.20. And if anything, I'd still argue it's a lower low. So I like the concept of this. This could be a potentially interesting short. I mean, clearly interesting for you, Willis Addison. That's an amazing short. Congrats to you.
Thanks.
Amazing puts. But I think, I might be interested in some range moves here. Just trying to find somewhere to hop around and play and trade. Because that meta range broke down. So just hunting for other opportunities. I was personally involved in the SPY. I thought I spied higher highs, higher lows. Okay, so clearly we're going up. Now, I will say this was a horrible point of entry. I thought that we were kind of getting a little bit of a move back up. I was a little bit too hasty, should have waited for that dip now into that 511.40. And why the 511.40 dip was great was because also look at where we wicked up into earlier. Would have been a better level. That's okay. Learning and growing with every trade. Where's the next trade, as our pal Obi says?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. Wow, doing well. Not in any trades, but I'm doing well. I'm looking for this flat bottom break here on MTC, guys. If I can show this chart, this $3 level here on MTC. Now, we were looking for initially the bounces through, or sorry, not the bounces, the break through $3. But guys, look at this now. The top, 380, lower high, 350, lower high, 3 1/3, all the while holding that $3 area as a flat bottom break. However, you guys know that I have a rule. I don't go long small cap gappers south of VWAP. The exact inverse applies. So the contra positive is that I don't go short small cap gappers above VWAP. This is going to have to give up the ghost at 275, even though it doesn't really jive with where the actual price support level is, which is clearly at $3. VWAP on my charts hanging out at 275, 280. Can't really tell right now. But the clear price level right now, where the buyers are clearly stepping in, is at $3. I don't know how much shorts are going to cost me on MTC. I got to find that out. But I just tried to see if there were free shorts, and there aren't. So that means I'm going to have to go secure some shorts. But I do like if 3 gives up the ghost. We definitely had 3 as a level of resistance. Now it's acting as support. If it gives up the ghost, I want all the smoke on this name. We're going to see what this one does, though. I'm not going to take it through the break of 3. It's going to have to give up 3 and either 280, 275. It's going to have to be below VWAP for me to get involved in the short side, but it's up big on the day, 133%, 130% now, but looks like it did top out just below that 383. Again, not going short unless and until it breaks through VWAP. Now, let's talk about the future. The future is a dang rocket today. Look at the NQ. The NQ's up over 1%. Forget about 18.2. Now we're looking at 18.3. We're at 18.277 right now. So the market is pumping up to the high side. That includes the NQ and the ES. The ES is through 51.35. That's obviously an all-time high. We're at an all-time high right now on the NQ as well. Yeah. Oh, I like that. That was a good one, Chilean Nightmare. Can I get the code for that one? Oh, that's a fantastic one. Yeah, Chilean Nightmare's got all these animations that we don't know about.
Being evasive with the animations.
He's being evasive with the animations. I like it. Shout out to Fabian. Look at Tesla through that 202. Here comes 203 right now on TSLA. So shout out to you, Big Kyle Burdette, because I was trying to point out this area to you here at this 202.75. We were talking about that institutional level high at around 8 a.m. earlier. What a double bottom right now, or today, excuse me, on Tesla at that 199, 203 incoming. Keep your eye on that 204.75. That is the high from yesterday, and it's also where resistance level 1 on pivots is, baby. We're green on the day right now on Tesla, 0.5%.
Ramin gave you the code for the animation, which is apparently called To the Moon, which is really fun.
That's fantastic.
So that's awesome. Shout out to Ramin and Fabian, and also our little trading turtle friend.
Where is it?
So,
on the midday show?
Yeah, no, it's in the Trader TV live chat, so everybody can access the rocket. Yeah, so honestly, this NVIDIA, I've just been, speaking of rockets, we have to talk about NVIDIA, right? I like, it's interesting, it's not necessarily a, so really, I don't want to really say that it's kind of a bull flag situation, because the more arguable bull flag would have been way earlier when we popped up into this. We had 1820 twice, but then instead of breaking up to the upside, we broke to the downside, right? So as you can see here, we broke down, then we popped back up, and then we get to compression and a breakout. And this, to me, is more of a bull flag pattern, even though we're still up in the day, but it came after a downtrend. So patterns don't always manifest the way you think they will. What I've noticed, though, is we get into this 819, we fall right back above that 1825. So I think I'm going to have a really quick, really tight scalp on this. If we break decisively below 818, I'm out. I'm trying to get in at 818.25. So it's going to be very tight. We're going to be like a ninja getting in and out of this trade if we get involved. Because if we're going to be in NVIDIA, best believe I am scalping. We are not trusting any other thing. Ooh.
It's working now. Got it. No, I won't. I want to make sure it worked. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Adair.
But yeah, so I have this NVIDIA trying to get working. We'll see if it does. Easy for all shoppers asking if you can check the short float on XPOF. Thank you so much for the super chat. Easy for all shoppers. $4.99 super chat. Very much appreciated there.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm just loading up my trade ideas right now. I had neglected to do so. That is where I find all my short floats. Shout out to Michael Moss and his crew. Make sure you're using that code right there, tradertv20, if you want 20% off to use this software, guys. So here it is, XPOF. Anytime I see OF, anyway. 12.5% of the 18 million share float is shorted. 12.56% there, according to Trade Ideas. Let me just make sure that it's 18 XPOF. What does my platform say with respect to float, not short float? So my platform is saying 22.3 million shares. Trade Ideas is saying 18 with respect to the float, whatever. Not that big of a difference. 12.5% is the float, which is definitely not negligible at all. Let's look at this XPOF trade. It's a good looker today, man. Up 42.96%. Is there a catalyst for this thing over here? Here we go. Let's have a look. Yeah, Exponential Fitness, Morgan Stanley. Oh, they had earnings probably. Did they have earnings? What was yesterday, the 29th? Yes, earnings call. Okay, so these guys reported earnings. I've never heard of Exponential Fitness, and I
feel like briefly I've heard it mentioned, but I know nothing about it.
Reported adjusted loss of 28 cents per share, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're not going to go through all that, but revenue rose. Say that again. It's better than linear fitness. Exponential fitness is better than linear fitness. Shout out to my mathematicians out there, baby. That was the Chilean Nightmares joke, by the way. Revenue did rise about 26.5%, I guess, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it looks as if there was some interest there with respect to investors as a result of earnings. Let's pull this up, man, because this deserves to be on the side chart. XPOF. This is a good looker. Look, it's not rocketing up there or anything like that. Here's what I want to show you guys this on the 5-minute look. But this is a buy program, okay? And I won't be convinced otherwise. This has not broken the 10 EMA since the bell rung, okay? This is a buy program that's on. Someone's positioning into this, obviously, and you can kind of see it there with respect to the volume as well. Outsized volume. Today, we've done 3.3 million shares. The 5-year average is 750,000. That's by 4 o'clock. So the fact is we're well above the relative volume today on this name. Let's do some charting to figure out where we could possibly encounter resistance. So we've broken above the 50 like it didn't matter. So we have the 200 hanging out at 15 3/4 or thereabouts, okay? Let me just put the ticker for everybody, XPOF. That is the indicator resistance. Now, with respect to price action, not that much above it. Look at that 16.5 going back to July. And this was obviously another earnings day. You could tell this June 27th when this thing tanked, that was earnings. You can tell by the price action, you can tell by the volume. And the bottom there was 16.5. So this could easily find its way into 16.5 by the day. 16 to 16.5, just because the exponential moving average is just at that 15 3/4. So the 200 EMA could put the kibosh on this one's ascent into 16, 16 1/3, 16.5, thereabouts. This is a great look. Thank you for pointing that out. I didn't actually see that earlier. XPOF, unbelievable move, uninterrupted to the high side. Doesn't break the 10 EMA once all day. We're probably going to position some size into this Adair.
Yeah, no, I have a couple things I'm trying to get into right now. I'm looking back at Microsoft. Look at that previous area of resistance. Look what's becoming support. That's right. Sorry, I got too excited there. But I like this look. I'm going to try to, sorry, a little bit too loud.
It's popping as well.
Thank you for the support there. Killer Katina, as Sean calls him. If we get involved, I'm trying to get in around 30s. If I get involved here, we're going to scalp out part of this around 60s. Then I'm going to save a piece for the dream.
Bang.
Look at that area that we have around that 414.50 area. Could it be ambitious? Maybe, but that's what dreams are made of. No, I'm joking. It could be a little bit ambitious, but also we've done it earlier, right? So I do think it's possible. There's not, a complete there's some logic to what I'm saying. Also, these puns going on with Neil and Darwin in the chat. Darwin saying, I prefer parabolic. Neil saying, I will co-sign that, but C-O-S-I-N-E. The math nerd in me is pleased as punch. I really like it. Thank you, Fabian, for kicking this all off and getting this wonderful ball rolling. Also, shout out to Paul MP. Yeah, sorry, we missed this earlier asking about Root. And yeah, I can take a look at Root for you. I actually just got filled in this, which I know this is not, it's a little bit of a small capper, so a little bit dicey for me, but hear me out. I actually really like the range on this. We have this higher highs, higher lows. Looks like we're dropping below here. If we get decisively below into that, like, decisive drop of the range, I guess we're kind of getting to that now, like that 40, 50 area, we're going to give this, like 80 pennies, I'm going to have to be out. I like the idea of taking profit and getting out here around that 41.70 area. I like this one because it's not moving as insanely as some of these other small caps. There's a nice little range to this. It has a clear catalyst. Price target raised from $10 to $40 by Jeffries. So really nice look here for Root. And not even like Root reported that recently. They reported last Wednesday. It's been over a week. But, and I remember this one, I believe, was on the small cap recap last week or a couple weeks ago. It has run before. As Sharif says, you want, past runners are always a good time. So we're going to try to get out here at 69s. Sharif would say, what is line for that Winsy? But Adara would say, that's the top right now in the range. So that's where I'm going to get out here around that 69s. Also, my P-Pro 8 decided to take a nap. That's cool. Give me one moment.
Oh, I can take over while you do that.
Okay,
no worries.
Perfect.
All right,
No
I'm trying to weasel my way into XPOF over here. But here, my idea was, you guys know I don't like punching in at highs, right? That's just not my move. That's not my modus operandi. So I just finished yelling about how it was holding the 10 EMA the entire morning. So why don't I put a dip trade on the 10 EMA? Well, I can try, but the 10 EMA moves, right? Every time there's a new candle and there's more price action, the 10 EMA keeps moving. So I'm going to have to keep adjusting my price. Right now on my chart, the 10 EMA is at 14.12. I don't know. I don't think this is coming down to 14.12. So I'm going to hang out at 14.25. I'm going to put my order at 14.25. If I get that order, fantastic. If I don't, I don't. We're going to go ahead here. There we go. And we're going to sit at the $0.25. So we'll see if we get that fill. We're knocking on the door now of the $0.50, and there goes the $0.50 through 53s. The spread opening up a bit, though, so I may not get filled here, as this one just doesn't really want to pull back all that much. There's only been one major pullback here on the 1 minute look. This is the 1 minute chart, and that's what I mean by that. There was this move up through 13.40, and then it came back down to about 13.04. So this has been the biggest pullback, I would say, of the day right now on this name. Now, I'm not asking it to pull back 60 pennies like it did over here. I'm asking just for a measly 25. So yeah, XPOF gods, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Lots of these little small cappers. I can't believe I'm in a small capper, but like I said, the way this one moves, I'm okay with. The spread is a little bit dicey, but I've been through worse with Mademoiselle Lily. We also got filled in Microsoft. So like I said, it's scalping out the first 30 pennies of this. At that earlier area, we had a little bit of resistance, that 413.60. 413.64 yesterday's closing level, so a lot of confluence there. Shout out to Obi for this price choice. Then, as I said, saving a piece for a dream. I'm also considering, I'm keeping my plan open to DCAs if we come back into that 9 EMA, because the bounce there is quite enticing to me. Yeah, getting a little bit worried about this Root move, just the way this one's kind of falling here. Some people said as well in the chat, ascending wedges tend to break bearish. I honestly, yeah, that's a very fair point. That's why I'm really trying to be cognizant and getting this out just at the top of this range here, not saving much for a breakout. I saw an opportunity to scalp. We'll see if this actually comes to fruition, but I like the look on this right now. Like I said, though, the spread and the volume, the kind of the two things that are a little bit dicey about this as it currently stands. I'll look at the daily here as well for Paul MP asking about Root. Yeah, I mean, this move up in Root, like as I said, I remember this one being in the small cap gapper, small cap recap a while ago. A couple weeks ago maybe, and yeah, certainly a lot of strength here. In terms of areas that we might rest should we fall. Oh, what am I doing? Let's get the trend lines. Yeah, I think this, certainly some interest around thereabouts this 1240 area, right? That's an area we've come to quite a few times. And let me zoom out to get a better look here. 1240, I think that, where is this? 850 area, also kind of interesting to me, a little bit intriguing for root. But honestly, we're so far into the stratosphere, it's really hard to claim levels on the daily. Basically, the intraday, like I said, that ascending wedge is a pretty nice look. We're ascending. It's weird. It's kind of like an ascending, an uptrend that is a little wedge-like in terms of the fact that we do have this slight tightening of the trend. I do like this look, though. I think it's a nice look. Stay-at-home dad saying, I miss the days that, where is this? I miss the days when Tesla ran 50 at a time. Yeah, let's look at Tesla. Let's look at the Cybertruck. Certainly a bit of a roadster move. We hit that pop off that earlier area here, that 201, and we went 0 to 100 real quick. Shout out to Drake and shout out to the Roadster, which promises to do just that, or 0 to 60 miles, I guess.
Make sure to get the SpaceX package, though.
Get the SpaceX package, because that's how you get the what is it on the bottom of that thing? Turbos? You said the Roadster. There's some weird thing.
They were rockets.
Oh, they're literal rockets.
What I call them, dry something or another. Yeah, I sent it to Randy yesterday.
Yeah, I forget the exact word.
I'll tell you exactly what it is right now because I sent it to the Randy yesterday.
It's awesome.
Okay, cold air thrusters.
Ooh.
Sounds fantastic. I mean, I don't know how that's street legal. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it sounds a little dicey.
I can't see the regular be like, hey, Elon, we like you so much. We never investigate you. Put rockets on your cars, no problem. I mean, I just don't see
right,
that.
In context,
right?
It's even worse. It's even weirder in context.
Right? Like, they're not going to give him that. Guys, VKTX is making a move here. So who remembers this stock from earlier this week? Guys, VKTX. This is popping up again. So look, we're still within yesterday's range from the low side and the high side. Small cap gapper. Where the hell is it on my chart? 1 second. VKTX. VKTX. Just can't see the percentage up on the day for some reason. Jeez, this thing is just going to be the death of me. VKTX. Sorry, guys, because my platform likes to act up. 11.33%, 11.25%. We got above VWAP. It's an expensive small cap. It's not even a small cap gapper. Let's be real. This is $8.6 billion company now after that huge move up. But look, yesterday's high was where? Where did we get up to after the bell? The high there was 93 bucks. The low, 75 exactly. Today, the low 80 and the high 87. So we're definitely within yesterday's range. It's an inside day. We bounced twice off that 50-period moving average, give or take that $82.50, and now we just knocked on the door of 86. So it's giving you plenty of room. Now, you could be shooting for that $88 area or thereabouts because that was the high on the day. And that's if you're conservative off that level. If you're really ambitious, you could be looking for a squeeze into 93. I don't know if we get it on the day. I didn't want to trade this even though I had it up because it was south of VWAP. But since we started the show, it's reclaimed VWAP and it's made a new high. So there was an obvious level here where it double topped at 85 bucks or thereabouts. It broke through that, and now we're talking about that 86 knock. So this one looking awfully good. So is XPOF, which is going without me, Adara. I had an order on this bad boy and it's not going to fill. Well, that's because it didn't come down to my level. So maybe I'm not punching it at highs. I don't care. I'm just not going to. I'd rather lose on the money than break my rule on the day. So I'd rather miss out than break my rules. I'm going to leave my order there to defend that level. If it triggers, great on XPOF. Otherwise, we're going to put VKTX on another screen now. Oof. Because, well, it's pumping. Man, Apple's curling up too. Geez, what's going on
There's
here?
So much going on in this
market's curling here. Meta's above 500. Softy just woke up. Softy just went green. Are you still trading
I'm
that?
still in Softy.
Okay, amazing. Apple's curling up. Tesla's doing the dance with 203. Amazon is at 178. So everything's curling up here, Adara.
Yeah, everything's curling up. Please just punch. Like I said, we got out of some of that Softy there, right around that 413.60 area, because that was around where the previous close is. And as Sharif said, has always said, and something I've really learned from, his previous close can be so important. Can't believe I'm in 3 trades. What is happening?
Wow.
I feel like Sean, I don't know how Sean does it. Honestly,
and
it's a very
Neil.
stressful time. Sean and Neil, but I know sometimes Sean will have like the 6 or 7 trades at the same time, right? But, you know, shout out to Sean and Neil and everyone here for killing it. Definitely did not mean to exclude Neil. No. But yeah, this NVIDIA, like I said, super scalpy, coming into areas of support around that 818, taking this out. We're going to be getting out here at these let's do 90s. Let's just do, we're getting out in the entirety of this move here. I like how top and churn we've been. I like the bounce off the 90 MA. We keep seeing it. It keeps happening. I want in on this movement. As Sharif was saying earlier, I want all the smoke. And we know that NVIDIA can bring the heat. I know I sound like an announcer. I'm just very amped up in all these trades here. We also have Root, which is honestly, I think, getting a little bit unmoored. As I say that, it drops pretty significantly. We now have a 60 penny spread. When did this happen? I do not know, but I have to get out of this. This is getting super dicey. Tried a little something different, tried a small cap, didn't work out. That is okay. We just say bye-bye to Root. Yeah, this is, you know what someone was saying earlier too, there's like a tendency sometimes for these kind of ascending wedge-ish or compressed patterns sometimes to break to the downside, which is certainly what happened here with Root. But I learned, you live and you learn, that's the whole goal of trading. NVIDIA falling back a little bit. I'm watching here for that 817.50 area, but it looks like we're getting a bit of a pullback on all these mega cap names, so that does give me a little bit of hope here. Not hope, because we don't want hopium, but just like it reassures me.
Yes.
And as I say that, we pop back up here. A lot of names really spready though. NVIDIA, 25-cent spread. Root, like I said, got to 60 cents. I get out, it pops back up. That's okay. We got out of my area of interest. Microsoft about a 3-cent spread, which for Microsoft is something. But yeah, there's so much happening in these markets. I'm just trying to keep up with all of it. We also have Tesla continuing to kind of push to the high side here. Not a type of move I have because there's a little bit less of a range and predefined levels. That being said, still a nice one for sure. Worth watching Tesla. Always worth watching Stresla. I mean, that name moves like crazy. But other than that loss in Root, honestly has not been a bad trading day after what I would argue has been a pretty rough week for me. I think we'd one positive day so far out of the previous 4. And then today, right now, slightly to the downside just because this NVIDIA and Microsoft are still shaking out. But yeah, we were down on Root. We were a little bit down on that SPY trade. Other than that, though, pretty positive. Excited to see what else the market has to give me. And sorry for talking so quickly and so excitedly here. I think this is quite the look. The Stitch Lady saying, true statement, they are something, answering questions, trading multiple stocks and entertaining us. Thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you so much, Stitch Lady, and thank you so much, Shashawn and Neil, killing it every day. Yeah, being in 3 trades for 2 seconds was like almost heart attack inducing, especially with that spicy chicken in my system. So I do not know how Sean and Neil do it and give you everything. I keep wanting to say all the smoke.
I gotta echo that a lot because
look.
I don't like trading multiple names. It's just not my style. But when you've been trading 20 some odd years, like the pair of them have, you develop skills that we lowly new traders do not have yet. And so we need to be cognizant of that and trade our book. And then once we develop their skills, then we can look at diversifying a little bit. But I personally just can speak for myself. I'm not there. So guys, Real, R-E-A-L, the real deal here. And no, we're not talking about Neil, is pumping up. So this is up 45%. It started out its life today at $1.77, and we just touched 260. It's been holding VWAP the majority of the time, saving except for that quick dip below that level at the open. It has a definable pre-market top in 240 that we have, so both things are met. Above VWAP, break of a definable pre-market high. In fact, we can add to that, it's above yesterday's high. And this bad boy started moving in the aftermarket yesterday. This is either earnings. Is it earnings? Likely.
Yeah, it's earnings. It is earnings. Yeah.
Thank you,
the guidance was mixed, but the earnings were good.
I like their name, Real.
Yeah, they do luxury good. Someone was saying that in the chat as well.
No, but it's like kind of slang.
Yeah, it's like
yo,
the
that's
real. Yeah.
You know what I mean? What happened, Ram? I don't know the Real. Do you know Real is an online marketplace for authenticated? Oh, you do know this. Consigned goods. I was teasing her, but she knows about it because they sell luxury clothing items.
Oh, okay.
And I don't want to say anything, but somebody was wearing a $200 toque yesterday.
Was she?
Somebody. I don't know who it was.
That was a nice
someone had a $200 pink moose knuckles toque. Yeah. There you go. Point her out, Chilean Nightmare.
Shame or no, I'm joking. No. We love Ram and the Chilean Nightmare.
Right? I don't know what's going on with Josh and Jag back there, but they're laughing up a storm. All right, guys, 260 is the high on Real. Keeping my eye on that. VKTX as well as it comes into 86 bucks a Dara. MTC started giving up the ghost at that level, but it's putting in topping tail candles below 250. I'm looking for the hold here.
Yeah, no, I mean it's getting spicy,
Bottom of the tail
dicey,
candles.
and a little bit icy over here in NVIDIA. NVIDIA, honestly, I've just been watching like a hawk. Microsoft's fine. Microsoft doesn't need to be babysat. Microsoft will do her thing, 21. NVIDIA's like, Adara, you have to keep your eye on me because I could be wild at any moment. And it's like, I know, NVIDIA, I understand. It's okay, I'm here for you. One thing I'm worried about though is that this actually, the range might have fallen out here. It might just be now we're curling to the downside. So I'm gonna be getting out of this a little bit earlier than initially intended. I was aiming for 819s. If I get 81860s right now, I'll be pleased as punch. But Microsoft certainly, mouth-watering, as you said, sometimes salivating. Yeah, like honestly, this is what the Microsoft is. I'm really happy I still got involved in that. And I want to say too, with regards to trading, making sure you're trading your own book, I would argue I still did in this, even though we did have that pop-up, because I got in because we had a dip into that 9 EMA, which was also that previous area of resistance of that 413.20. So I just, you know what I mean? Even though this was a breakout trade, I still felt more emboldened taking it because we had those indicators I like, that confluence I like. Two things I want to talk about here. One, Scrooge McDuck, thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat saying my donation for the electric bill. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for your support for the show. Hope you're having a great time here with us in these wild markets. Also, Mark Susi saying, put a quarter in the jar every time you guys say cognizant. I feel like we both say it a lot separately,
Yes.
and so then we say it a lot more together.
Yes.
But we are cognizant of it. I had to. And then last but not least, there was one more I wanted to, oh yeah, Nando's Art saying, you have one indicator in a world trading competition. What do you choose? I don't know. That's a hard question.
that
Probably
is a
VWAP.
one
But I love my
indicator.
9 EMA lately too, so there you go.
I would have to use volume.
That's a better
because then
answer than mine.
Well, I mean, you can kind of gauge volume based on how something's trading and how the candle looks sometimes, but I would definitely want to choose volume over anything else. The second in the list would be VWAP, obviously. I'm short Apple. The short Apple is not random. It's I'm trying to base it on a VWAP rejection and a possible 13.3 or thereabouts top right now on the future. So we got into VWAP on AAPL. VWAP on my chart is at 178 2/3 exactly, okay? So there's that level of resistance. And then when you look at the NQ, we're awfully close to 18.3 with a high of 18.291. We've also reached second level of pivot resistance. So I figured this would be a calculated gamble here on AAPL. Gonna take this bad boy short. Line in the sand is a break above VWAP. Line in the sand, a break above VWAP. I don't want any of the smoke from Apple if it breaks above VWAP, because I mean, there could be buy programs that are gonna get turned on at these levels. I mean, there's gonna be individuals like me that may want Apple at depressed levels that it hasn't been at for some time. So if that's the case, I'm not gonna stand in front of that. So we're short Apple at the moment, looking for a move down possibly here. Gonna pack my patience, so I'm gonna give it to about a 178, say 69. That will be my line in the sand there. Yeah, Big Kyle Burdett agrees as well. He's like, volume would be one that he takes. Shout out to Kyle there on the day. Look, again, Apple short right now. Let's see what we get. The other look I'm looking at here, VKTX, where to go? Oh, I have to load it. Do I have it up? VKTX? No. No, I don't. Okay, so I have to load it up. VKTX, because it's just so strong on the day, right? I mean, the thing is, though, it's awfully spready and awfully expensive. So rejecting off 86 for now.
Bless you.
I put my mute for the production team. You're welcome. No, if this rejects off 86, definitely looking for a move back down to 85. We definitely have a bit of a top there, a bit of a consolidation top at 85. So if we do come back down to 85, look for support, but it doesn't look like it wants to make its way down, maybe 86. So those are the ones I'm watching. I'm watching VKTX. I'm watching MTC. I want to see if this one can hold this general area here. It's putting in bottoming tail candles on the 5-minute look right now, which is bouncing off the 50 period. I don't want to take it long south of VWAP. That's against my my rules, but I am cognizant of this particular area. I'm going to start hitting the bangs when I say cognizant now, not just confluence. And then last but not least, XPOF, man. I keep trying to get a dip trade on this dang name. It's not giving me a dip trade. It seems like the dip trade here has to be off 40. I'm talking about 1440. Look at all the dips into 1440 here. So it's a bit of a range trade for now, but it's showing you that there is a buyer at that 40 penny level. If there is, then maybe we should be getting in there because it doesn't want to make its way down to that $0.25. I've been trying to get it in on the 10 period EMA on the 5, and it hasn't been giving me that opportunity. So I'm going to keep watching XPOF, probably put an order here at 41s a day.
Yeah, no, I'm just having a battle with Microsoft, and that was such a weird statement. But basically, what makes me nervous is look at this kind of candle we get here around some random level of 419.20. I want to see that 419.20 break. 414.20. What am I saying? I apologize. 413.20 for whatever reason was a psychological level for Microsoft. That's why I got out of part of the long there and then back into the long there as well. Because support and resistance, and I'm actually going to draw that 413.20 to explain what I'm talking about here. But yeah, that was, I mean, we didn't get right back in there, but the same kind of, you know what I mean, the same general idea. But also, it looks like we're getting spicy here, so I'm going to reset my exit from this trade just shy of 1450s. I like that level because it's just shy of that top, and you know I like to avoid getting out near all high as the day or low of the day. But also, we had that pop into this area earlier, right? So I kind of like what I'm seeing. I like the potential of this. I do think Microsoft said, hey, we can do it before. I think Microsoft can do again, and hopefully if we get to that level, I will be dancing like that. What's that video of like them in the 80s dancing on the stage, the Microsoft guys? I'll be dancing
that
like...
wasn't the 80s.
That was the 90s?
Yeah, can you believe it?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was.
I shouldn't have said 80s. I'm sorry. I apologize. But yeah,
it's all good.
That makes
What
more
happened?
sense.
Remember Steve Ballmer? Like that guy, man.
Yeah.
He was
The
like
dancing
sweating
man.
up us. Developers. Like Chilean member says. Yeah, Steve Ballmer, man. That guy is a package full of energy, man. Do we have that video? Can we get that video? No, the video of the Microsoft guys celebrating.
The dancing.
Yeah,
on
we'll
the
get
stage.
that. We'll get that. If I can. Yeah, Chilean Nightmare knows exactly what I'm talking about because that's like and then you could see how meek Bill Gates is like.
And Steve's like.
And Steve Ballmer is just like, bruh. His
Good
what?
time.
No, oh yes, I do. Who did he do that with? Oprah or something like Oprah? Yeah, Bill Gates jumping over the chair. That was good. All right, guys.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna have to possibly put in an out here on AAPL. I don't want a new 5-minute candle to make a new high. If this comes in to 57s, yeah, I'm getting out. I'll reload on this name if it gives me another opportunity, but gonna get out of this trade. I don't like it. It looks like it may have legs through VWAP right now because the future's pumping, man. We could get a rejection off 18.3, and there goes 18.3, and this is why I got out of this trade. I don't want to stand in front of this market. Yes, it's the 100-point level. Yes, typically we look for the wick shimmy dance at the 100-point level, but today the market's on one, baby, and we just broke through 18.3 up 1 1/5%. We were well below 18,000 at one point. We've gained 300 points on the day, so it's been a fantastic move up for the future. Good move for NVIDIA. Good move for Meta. Do you see where Meta is now?
Yes.
It's almost at 502. Unreal. You want to start that lesson?
Yeah, let's start that lesson. Also, I'm out of Microsoft and I am doing the Steve Ballmer dance. So yeah, very happy. Not a name I trade a lot, but you see a range. You have to. There he is.
Yeah, look at this.
That was me.
Keep playing, because look how Bill Gates, he's like, ooh, la-di-da, la-di-da. And then Steve Ballmer is just like, look at his hands flailing. Yeah, Steve Ballmer's next level, man. Look at Bill Gates, like, I'm chilling.
Like this little smile.
Yeah, everything's okay, everything's good, right?
No, that was great. Thank you guys for pulling that up. Shout out to Fabian and Ramin, Bears versus Bulls, Sean, Neil, Brendan, Obi, everybody in the back. Good moves here on this here Friday. But for now, what's really Friday is talking about this lesson, which actually might not be yay for a lot of people because it is one that is a little bit contentious in the trading community. And it is efficient market hypothesis.
Broke it.
So what's the central idea here? Basically, the central idea of the efficient market hypothesis, which is a cornerstone concept in finance that is often disputed, is basically that market prices will reflect all available information, which means that theoretically, they accurately represent the intrinsic value of an asset at any given time. So what does that imply when we say a market is efficient? Well, for one, it applies an efficient market. So it implies that prices are adjusting rapidly to new information, which makes it impossible to beat the market, according to this theory, because if you can't really buy undervalued or sell overvalued stocks when all the value is implicitly baked into the asset price, right? That's what this implies. We also implies fair value. So it's the idea that stocks trade at their intrinsic value, which represents their true worth based on factors like future earnings potential and growth prospects. But there's some different forms of EMH. 3 different flavors, as Sharif said. Instead of chocolate, vanilla, and spumoni or strawberry, whatever your third flavor is going to be, these have weak form, semi-strong form, and strong form. We did discuss semi-strong form yesterday because of some of its similarities to random walk. But for now, we're going to talk about weak form, which is basically the idea that only historical, publicly available historical price and volume data is reflected in prices. So this one is this form of EMH is going to be more based on past info. We also have semi-strong form, which is this whole basis, the weak form, that skeleton, with the addition of publicly available information. So the idea that in addition to this information, all publicly known and fundamental information, like earnings reports and economic data, is baked into the price. We also have strong form, which is all information, so not just public, but all info. That includes private information or insider information. It's all going to be baked into the prices. Now, what are some of the implications for investors? So some of it is the idea of passive investing. So proponents of EMH will argue that actively trying to beat the market is futile. Or instead, they recommend passive investing in diversified, low-cost index funds that actively track market indices. We also have active management. So some critics of EMH we're going to argue that it's unrealistic and that skilled investors can still weasel their way in and exploit inefficiencies by analyzing market fundamental data or using technical analysis. Now, some details and context. The role of alpha is really interesting here. So basically, if you're a proponent of EMH, you're going to argue that it's impossible to consistently generate alpha because alpha is an abnormal rate of success or an edge in the market. And the idea is you can't succeed the market in EMH, right? So it basically overrides the idea that you can't consistently generate alpha. The only way to do so by the EMH theory, the only way to consistently beat the market is going to be through purchasing riskier investments. They kind of do their own thing, 21. Another aspect here of this is this Morningstar study. I'm going to link this. I linked this in the chat earlier, but I'm going to link it here as well. Nice. So basically, this study was saying that it published in June 2019, and Morningstar basically found some validity to EMH. The study is called, I have it here, Active Passive Barometer Study. So what they did was they took, compared the the funds of active managers' returns in all categories against a composite of relative funds and ETFs. And they found that over a 10-year period, only 23% of the active managers could outperform passive management. Now, of course, this is over a 10-year period, right? So it's going to be a bit more of a longer-term method, but it shows that there could be potentially some validity or some evidence to support, at least in the longer term, the EMH. So I thought that was interesting. I wanted to put that out here too. Also worth noting, in the passive management, foreign equity funds and bond funds were more successful than US large caps. So of course, within the passive funds, there's still going to be some differences, but overall, they're going to be beating the active managers about 77%. Let's look at some criticisms and real-world considerations. So one of these is going to be market bubbles. These are times when prices can deviate from intrinsic value. Super microcomputers, no, I'm joking. I'm not saying that's a bubble, but I'm saying that's an example of these times that these prices will be astronomically large. Meta is $5 in the money on the Katina Man's account. If you're not following the Katina Man on the other channel, sorry to interrupt you, on the More Trader TV, make sure to get over there, look where he's getting in, where he's getting out on his position. Shout out to the Katina Man. Yeah, thank you so much. Shout out to Sean with a cool $5 on that not so small meta move. Clearly. But yeah, so basically the idea that if we could have these prices that become astronomically high, like SMCI, like these bubbles, then how can it really be an efficient market? How can all the action be baked in? Also worth noting, behavioral biases. So critics argue that human biases and emotions can actually lead to market inefficiencies that can be exploited by skilled investors. Also worth noting the limited scope of this theory. As we said, it is primarily going to be a longer term play, but it also primarily focuses on stock markets. And so it's a little bit harder to make it fully applicable to other financial instruments like derivatives. Yeah. And last but not least here, what I'd like to call the Warren Buffett effect, or exceptions. So some stock pickers, like Mr. Buffett there, are able to outperform the market consistently over a long period of time. What's also interesting is the way that Warren Buffett does so is through investing in assets that are perceived as undervalued. So the idea of buying good companies at fair prices, which is antithetical to the entire concept of EMH, right? So it shows that even in the long term, there is some movement that goes against the EMH theory and shows that it's not going to be perfect 100% of the time. So in conclusion, EMH can provide a very valuable framework for understanding market efficiency and the challenges of conceiving consistent above average returns. And whether or not you believe in this strict interpretation, and a lot of people do not, as you can see in the comments, as you can see through what Neil and Sean said. I know Sharif's not a huge proponent as well. But regardless, it does remain an influential theory that has sparked ongoing research and debate among investors and financial economists. And the research does suggest that in the long term, there may be some merit.
Sounds good. Thank you for that, Adara. Great as always. I'm long here on the future. We'll see if we can break through that level. My line in the sand is going to be that 18.3. We'll see if we hold on. I'm also long XPOF at 14.4 at the moment, so we'll see what we get there. Looking for that nice move up, but it's VKTX here that's showing up on my chart awfully strong. Unbelievably strong, this VKTX, man. Keeps going up 12% now. It's giving you multiple dollars. Beautiful double bottom off the 50 period moving average at that $82.50 area. Fantastic move there. Yeah, basically that's really all I'm looking at the moment. Worried about this futures trade. Looking for it to hold at 18.3, probably getting in at highs, but we'll see what we get. Looking also for this XPOF move to move into that $0.75 area. I think that would be a good area to take some profit there on that big move up. Long at 14.40, but looking definitely for a lot more. But we're getting a little bit of a consolidation move here, the accumulation. So I don't know if the move is done on this because, well, we didn't really move sideways the entire day. And now we're moving a little sideways. So a little concerned about this trade, but really focusing on the futures trade here because that's where the majority of the money is, right? So if we can hold above this 18.3, that would just be aces. Looking possibly to add at 18.3, and then maybe we'll get everything out if it is to break it decidedly. So let's go ahead and put another B quitter right there. Let's see to defend that level. Not much else going on. Hertz Scrambler saying AVGO going to 1400. You said Broadcom is reporting next week, right?
Yeah, next Thursday evening.
Next
so you know when we come here this time next week, we will be saying at whatever Broadcom is doing.
Yeah, it's up 7 1/5 today, Dara. I'm just going to send it to you while I manage this trade, okay?
Yeah, do it. I mean, yeah, that bang button's certainly correct. I'm just going to pull up Broadcom so we can look at AVGO because, wow, did it get going here. AVGO, more like. We had this continued bounce here off the 9 EMA. Also, if anyone knows why its ticker is AVGO, I'm so curious. Let me know in the chat. Something I've always thought about. I remember when I first started too, I was always so interested in the different tickers and what they mean. But yeah, AVGO knocking on that door. AVGO was like, why are you talking about me? Just watch me move. 1 minute, 1 penny and 5 cents, or $1.05 spread there. 1 penny spread on AVGO would be amazing. Yeah, this is like a $1.05 spread, so massive spread, but also massive move up for AVGO. Happy I got out of route where I did because we did break below my area of interest. I had to go. Hopefully no one's too chopped up in this. Spread in this is getting dicier and dicier. Now we're around 20 cents. When I got out, we were at 60 cents. So this is quite the move. Oh, apparently they kept the symbol AV. Okay, because Avago bought Broadcom. Thank you so much, Money on My Mind. Okay, thank you so much, Neil, and Money on My Mind, which is a great name as well. But yeah, so what a look here on this AVGO. But yeah, root very much kind of heading down here. Hopefully no one got too swept up in the top of this name. Dell, I'm also still looking at as well. I know Vic was asked me to look at that one earlier. I like the look. Didn't get involved because I couldn't get filled. Really wish I had though, because look at that massive pop up into VWAP. I was interested in here around this level. Dell's like, yeah, we're gonna keep going. That's cool. Kept going. I like, there's definitely a dip buy opportunity here. It's just we're a little bit missing of that beautiful range we had when I initially got involved. Also, I'm just trying to do this super chat from Jose Mercado. What COCH has to see with HKD, previous CEO, why he mentioned on that? Can y'all check profile, please? Yeah, I mean, let me see here what's going on with this HKD. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything I can find here. Not seeing much here in HKD, but let me pull it up. I'm gonna see if I can find anything more here when I have a moment. But let's look here at HKD. Also, I have to shout out Randy RJ3 saying long till it's wrong, baby, which in these markets, not necessarily incorrect. But yeah, I think honestly, volume on HKD right now is gonna be about 132,000. This is, people asking for COCH. Oh, that's a ticker. Okay, give me a second here. Sorry about that. I was kind of trying to make sure I got the gist of that super chat. Okay, tap. I'm not seeing a tap. I don't think I see a tap on my end because I'm in the sim. Neil, do you mind if you see the tap on COCH?
Yeah.
We just opened up here, I think. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I really apologize on that. But yeah, this is a wild look here on COCH. Lots of chop and turn here in that 520 area. Then we break above, continue to the upside. Lots of halts. What's the deal here? Envoy Medical. Okay. This one's been halting the last couple days as well. Oh, there was a Fox Business mention 2 days ago, so it looks like we've been spiking up since then. Let's see if there's any other news. This daily chart, I have no comments. This is amazing. Let me see if I have any stories on this. COCH, Envoy Medical.
Yeah, halted, circuit breaker, nothing. There's some stuff from yesterday. Meet Medical Fly Lucas. Who's this guy? Fly Lucas? What is this? All right, here it is. Rosen Trusted Investor Council encourages Envoy Medical investors to inquire. No, okay, so this is class action nonsense. No, actually, I don't have anything on it there, sadly, yeah. All right. We'll keep looking. We'll keep looking, guys. All right, there we go. I just got a print on XPOF, baby, through 69s. So now we're printing on this one. We're about 35 pennies in the money. We get on the bottom end of the range, this consolidation range, but this monster of a name continues to go on the day. XPOF, up, up, and away. Oh, what's going on there, Katina, man? I do like that stock blitz. I like many of your animations, of which you have many. I like many of your animations, of which you have many. A little redundant, but it works.
Animations. Yeah.
But it still works.
I think it works.
There's the Katina man, baby, sitting on the ones and twos right there. Breaking news? What? The NASDAQ is at the high of the day, baby. That's what it is. We're going to wet our beak here on some more. Oh, no, we can't. We only have one more out. Dang it. The Katina man is prepping for the podcast. Make sure you get that 9 or 8 a.m. Sorry, 10 a.m.?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. I know. I'm getting it all wrong. I'm getting it all wrong, baby. 10 a.m. tomorrow with the Brendo. On any of the podcast platforms, you name it, we're on all of them, baby. Okay, Adara, we're keeping an eye here on XPOF. We're keeping an eye here on the Future. REAL continues to go. It's a print factory on XPOF. Couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you. And that's a beautiful, I love the little beak, what it looks. Also, I love that you got it right at the bottom of that range too. As a rangy person,
I bet you like that.
And I like it. But yeah, congrats to you. Also, I do have to say, even though that route didn't work out earlier, I'm pretty proud of myself for trying. We did break down, but I got out in a fairly responsible manner. Shout out to anybody involved in this, because what does this look? Great look. Also, Microsoft, I got back in. I got involved in this because we have this these wicks of failed selling here, and it looks like we could see another pop. I want to see what we do at that 415, because we haven't broken 415 today. 499, or what? Sorry, not 415. Yes, 415, but our high of day is 14.99 words. I'm so sorry, guys.
All good.
But yeah, I like the look of this. Really small position because I thought this could be risky. I don't like usually getting involved in things when there's not a lot for me to fall back on. But if we have struggles with 415, I'm getting it out at 415. If we don't, HODL, baby. So we're gonna have to see what happens here. I like this look. Also, thank you so much to Ian Rispetto for the $19.99 super chat. Much appreciated. Can you take a look at CRWD, please? It's a long hold for my portfolio, and they have earnings on Tuesday next weekend. Anyone else own this also?
I want to look at this.
Yeah, let's look at it.
CrowdStrike is a hell of a name, guys.
Yeah.
CrowdStrike is a big time name. I'm involved right now in PanW, in Zscaler, bought Zscaler on that dip pleases punch as it it didn't miss on earnings. It basically beat on everything, increased the guide, but what the analysts are saying is Zscaler's growth is slowing. As a result, they're selling off a bit, but hey, my loss, their gain. Guys, chart, if we can. Thank you. CRWD, great look on CrowdStrike. I think this is, I think there's going to be a secular move, or if there isn't one already for these names. I'm talking about the PanDubs. I'm talking about Crowd. I'm talking about Zscaler. All I see is news items every day that some other company got hacked. Now, you don't have to forget what happened in Las Vegas when Caesars and MGM and all these other casinos couldn't even access their elevators. Okay? And in this country, we had the entire Toronto Public Library system get hacked. People's information was leaked. People couldn't, take out books, this, that, and the other. The point is, this is going to become a growing threat. And so I like these companies. Look, we just printed all-time highs right now on CrowdStrike back on February 15th, the day after Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, 344. We sold off aggressively down to 275. Nothing to do with CrowdStrike. That was the PanDub earnings miss, and it sent all the cybersecurity names south. And then you can see this monster hammer candle here because the market was like, no, you don't, right? Bought right back up. So even though they may miss on earnings because expectations are so inflated for these cybersecurity names, I think you have a secular name or a secular industry sector, whatever, that is going to do well for the foreseeable future. I'm along cybersecurity. I think it comes hand in hand as well with the expansion of data centers. The more data centers you have out there, the more you're going to have to secure them. I like these cybersecurity names, but that's just my opinion. And of course, as always, not financial advice. But CrowdStrike looks fantastic, Ian. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more with the move on cybersecurity in general. So yeah, I just wanted to put my 2 cents in there.
Thank you for doing
I
that.
got in the other two earlier, and I had some information I want to share.
Yeah, that makes sense. You definitely have more insight on that than I could ever hope to have. So thank you so much for making sure that we did the best for that super chat. Thank you very much to Ian Rispetto. And live trading by Trader TV Live / Ramin mentioning her baby, her little baby. So this is Trenda Ticker, the trading turtle, and an alliteration queen. And certainly a good day because lots of trending tickers today for Trenda.
Why is this sad though? That's kind of wondering.
There's different faces. I think you can
Yeah, this is angry, right? Because it's like looking a little angry on this one.
I think there's different faces.
Yeah, there are, but there's only two, right, Ram? Yeah, there's one kind of happy. I mean, he's kind of smiling
I think it's
a little
happy.
bit
I
here.
think that's the happy one.
Really?
Yeah. She.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so take it easy back there, bro.
But yeah, one trending ticker for sure. Tesla. What a move here for Tesla. I'm sure Trenda would approve because there's a massive upside move here in TSLA. Why is my chart showing only one candle for Tesla? What is happening? Give me a moment here. I'll pull up my side chart for Tesla because that will show me all the bars. Let me switch to a 5-minute. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. For some reason, PPRO8 has decided I only see one bar of Tesla. I'm going to figure out what's going on there. But for the meantime, look at this Tesla move. Massive upside push. We're going to full screen this, and I'm going to make the background white here. There we go. So no, okay, sorry, it's gonna be black for now, but this is our P Pro 8 screen. We had that, as Sharif pointed out, we had a double bottom there beautifully at 199, then that 200 area, push above. Tesla to the moon, much like the rockets on its future, what's that thing called? The future Roadster that we're gonna be getting soon. So what a look on that. That's a great look. I think that's an amazing take there on TSLA, but also a different perspective here from Jay Lee. Crazy TQQQ level, or as Sean said yesterday, the TQs, which I really liked. Crazy TQQQ level, now 63. Time to short, question mark? So my thing is too, is I'm gonna say there's not really a lot here telling me that there's a short here, right?
But
like,
Jay, what are you
I see an
looking at,
uptrend.
Jay?
That's what I mean, right? Like, I think you need like a little bit more. Like here, I would see why you'd be confused because we had the 5 minute where we had a little bit of chop and turn around 62.80, right? Right now, all I see is moon. All I see is upside.
I don't see any lower highs. I don't see any lower lows. I don't see a rejection off a key level. In fact, it's the opposite, Jay.
Same.
My humble opinion, and I know you say that a lot. That's why I'm using it. Jay, look, we dipped into 18.3 and we got bought right back up. So there was a bit of 1 5 minute candle here that gave us pause for concern. Every dip into 18.3 has been bought up. Now we're printing 18.320. So look, unless we give up the ghost at that level, I just don't see anything here to short, nor do I want to stand in front of this market and get run over. It has its own ideas today. Now, if you're looking at shorting something and you're waiting for something to kind of give up the ghost, my friend, let me refer you to this ticker, AAPL. Yeah, this is where I'd be looking short. We're dancing at VWAP, 178.5. The market's flying up. All Apple could do was make it back to VWAP. So if any sign of weakness comes in on this market, I'm going to be looking at Apple to short immediately. But I don't want to stand in front of the Qs. I don't want to stand in front of the MNQ unless it's going to show me something here. Show me something that you're getting weaker. I don't see it, to be honest with you. But I'm look at any sign of market weakness. I'm looking at Apple right away, right away. It's the dead one on the day. It's the down one. It's the dead one. The market is flying, bro. Look, we're just printing new highs, 18.325. This market is on its way up. It doesn't care about my feelings. It doesn't care that I want to get Apple at 175. It only gave me a 177 and a third print today, and I'm not going to make do with that because I already added at 180. I'm going to add every $5. Call me crazy. Pitch bull. Iceberg seller on Palantir 25. Haven't pulled up Palantir. Let's pull it up now. PLTR on the New York at 25. Okay, good look. Oh, great look there, pitch bull. Absolutely. Adara, you're going to salivate.
Oh my
Ready?
gosh, I will.
Look at this range over here, Adara, between 24 low 90s to 25. Now I'm looking at the book, pitch bull, and I don't see any. I shouldn't say I don't see any. I don't see enough size reflected on the book at the whole dollar level to justify us not being able to move up. And we're getting a lot closer. Now we're printing 99s, and I'm looking at 25, and there's like a measly, let's just say 130, 150 lots. That's nothing. That's not enough to prevent Palantir from rising above 25. So there's clearly an iceberg, clearly a hidden seller there. And they're not just content to stop at 25. No, look at this candle over here at 1221. We popped into 2504, but then immediately was met with a wall of selling. So whoever's instituting a short at 25, even though they're being out pushed through 25 at times, they're getting short at higher levels. So keep your eye on that, because even though you broke above 25 here at this 1221 candle, you were pushed right back down. In fact, you made a 24.92 touch after making that 25.04 touch. So great look there for all my range traders on PLTR. Look, you're going to have to size in though, Adara. The thing is, because you get in 10 shares, you get in 20 shares at 25, and then you're moving down 6 pennies, 8 pennies, right? So size is going to have to be important here if you're going to play this range. But who am I to tell you how to trade? Just making my suggestions. Let's see what else is moving, baby. Yeah, we're going to wait on this Apple trade. I'm not getting short Apple yet. We already had a failed short attempt on AAPL. We're going to wait for the market to give up the ghost before getting into Apple. XPOF, though, continues to go. If it didn't matter that I got out of this one is on its way up, and so is VKTX. Nice retracement, though, on VKTX. Now, this is an interesting look here on VKTX. Up 11 1/3. It's above VWAP. It's putting in a kind of head and shouldery pattern here, but it's also finding support at this 85.60. Look at 85.50, 85.60. Look at what we did here, over here, this consolidation range before we popped up off 85.5 and popped through 87. So we're getting that same range sideways here on VKTX in between 85.5 and 86. Are we on our way down? Or are we going to pop back up? Well, we're still putting in higher lows, even though we rejected off 87 and a fifth. When you look to the bottom there at 82, it's been consecutively higher lows and higher highs. You haven't made a lower low print. You haven't made a lower high print. So the trend is still there on VKTX. It's just about a matter of where to get in. Good looking name all week, really. VKTX has been the gift that keeps on giving.
Indeed it has. And you know what? Honestly, I saw that range on PLTR and I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, Alex Karp. Let's go fishing for an entry there. We're cents away. I wanted to put this, it's funny that you said size in because I also was going to have a larger position here, right? With a really tight stop. If we break above that 25.02, 25.03, I was going to have to say sayonara, and I was going to take some of that because you said really tight range. 24.94. You know, I was trading the small cap today. We're trying to be a little bit, we're trying to switch it up a little bit. You know what I mean? So trying to be a little bit more flexible. That PLTR looks good. We'll see if we get filled. It's still within the realm of possibility. Dell, really, really tiny scalp here. Got involved, minute position, tiny position off that 90 MA. Trying to get out at 121.99. So really, really small little 30-cent scalp. Microsoft is going to make me pull out all of my hair because this is the one where I should have stuck to my instincts more than I did. Let me zoom out a little bit to show you. I am joking, being a little bit dramatic. But basically, I should have, it was like Adara, that 415 area was the top. And I was like, no, like, you know, you don't have a huge position. Like, let's be a bit adventurous. We are not getting to 415. I'm just going to get out.
That?
Well, I said that to it.
Oh, okay, got it.
And to myself.
Got it.
And maybe all of the above, I don't know. We're having conversations with Stock Sharif. It's a wild one up here. What a Friday it's been. And I hope you guys have had as much fun as, I don't want to speak for both of us, but I think we both had a lot of fun.
Time. Yeah,
that's what I thought. There we go. Yeah. Also, we're in 3 trades again because we got in that Palantir short. We're going to see how that cooks. Dell getting close to my out. Microsoft, please go back to 415. Sincerely, Adara. Easy for all shoppers, 199, saying thank you so much for the super chat. Well, they didn't say that. I am saying thank you so much for the super chat. They said XPOF is like a rolling stone that fathers no moss. You killed it on the XPOF.
Yeah,
earlier.
well, we didn't kill it, Adara. We did okay.
You got it before that fall down?
Yeah,
though.
what I'm most proud of, guys, is this 1440 low that I got over here. I was pleased as punch about that because it was a range and there was clearly a buyer there. You could tell by the umpteen amounts of bounces off that 1440 level. What I'm disappointed about, and you're always disappointed or angry or upset or displeased or whatever you want to use there, but not getting the top, right? Because I got out on the high 70s rather than waiting for that 90 print. It's on its way down though, guys. So 1490 for whatever reason coming in as a top here, and this is moving down quicker right now than it's moved down all day. Look how many red candles we have in a row here. You can go back and look all day. We haven't had this many red candles in a row on the 1-minute chart on XPOF. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red candles in a row. We're on the way down to 1450. Let's see if that 1440 level, which was clearly a support level before, acts as support again. We know it was. So I'm going to pack my patience, and if it does hold, maybe we'll take another long on XPOF, because that level might be a rinse and repeat, as my friend Neil likes to say. So we're going to see what this one does. It's been a rocket ship to the high side. First significant pullback of the day on this stock that's up 44.25%, Adara. So we're going to wait and see there. Your boy Softy just knocked on the door of 415, by the way, and I'm watching that one ascend, and that probably has a lot to do with the fact that the future is at all-time highs. It is at high a day. The future keeps popping up, baby. 18, 3, 2, 7.5. This thing is a rocket ship. Even Apple is getting in on the upside action here, and I could not be more upset. It's on its way back into 179. Something tells me if the future keeps bumping here, we may get a 180 print on the close on Apple. Can you imagine that? It dances below 180 all day, dips into what, 177, and then we actually end up a closing print above 180? I would be very surprised if that happens, but yet not surprised at the same time. Because, well, we know that they have a share buyback program. We know that there's a lot of institutional interest in this, but it's not in vogue at the moment. It's not growing at the rate that NVIDIA is growing. It's not growing at the rate that, Softy and some of these other names are growing. So Apple, not in vogue, which is fine for me. I'll pick this bad boy up on at the cheap, I guess. What's going on here? Let's see some of the chat. This mark is ridic. DVD. I do agree. Diet soda, Apple, let's go. No, Diet soda, we want 175 on Apple. Shout out to Bears versus Bulls. Sharifa Nadera pumped up. Oh, yes, sir, we are. We got Jay Lee, Sharif Adera. Don't the big hedges and algos use all-time highs, high a day as a sell trigger? You're right, man, you're right. Higher highs breed more higher highs. I gave this data point earlier. I think you're 7 times more likely to print another all-time high from a previous all-time high than you are to print an all-time low. I know those are extremes. You don't have to print all-time lows from all-time highs, but the idea here is all-time highs usually give rise to more all-time highs. And that's just, it's so counter to human nature, especially myself. I can't speak for you, but I know when I go into Shoppers Drug Mart Adara, I'm looking at for what's on sale.
Yes,
okay?
Same.
And so you bring that sick compulsion to the stock market, it may not work out that well for you.
It may not, unfortunately.
Right? You're going to have to buy into strength, and that's the way it is. Darwin, Adara, GME. Oh, you're not the first person, Darwin, to yell about GME, so we're going to load up GameStonk right now, see what this bad boy is up to. What are we doing here on GME? What the hell is going on here? Why did this pop up from 1440? Now we're knocking on the door of 15 here on GameStop, up almost 4%. I'm looking on my blotter, see if anything's coming in here on GameStop. Nope, I'm just getting a price spike up notification. Nothing's showing up on my blotter. If you guys have anything on GameStop here news-wise, let me know. But I don't have anything at the moment. Volume spike, though. This one pumped up. People saying Dell dumping as well. Well, we'll stick to one thing at a time. Meta's at all-time highs, by the way. I'm looking at that 502 3/4. AMD's printing. What's going on, Katina Man, with AMD? You're long now? The Katina Man is long 200 on AMD, and now he's $1.50 in the money. So we're going to give him one of these and then half of one of these. Shout out to the Katina Man, baby. It's a print factory on that side of the desk.
Oh, indeed it is. Yeah.
More about Meta, though. Oh. Apparently, he's got that Meta long, too, and he's printing there. 503 incoming, guys.
Yeah, what a look there. Also, too, if you want any questions for Sean and Brendan in the podcast going forward, comment on the podcast, say what kind of fun questions, any topical fun questions, so we can get some conversations going there in the podcast. Excuse me, much appreciated. Also, Elon in the chat here, not the Elon that is suing OpenAI. Oh, nice. What, Meta?
Meta?
Nice. But yeah, so anyway, so Elon was asking about what I think about the cup and handle on DocuSign heading into earnings. Honestly, for me, I think what's really interesting to me about DocuSign is look at all these levels we have. We have so many levels here. We pop a couple times, we see some support at that $50 level. We just bounced off that $50 level of support. Then I find another really important area here to be that 50, just shy of 55. We get it once, we get it twice, we get it 3, 4 times here, and this is all we have 3 here as resistance, 1 is support. So and then another one is resistance as well. So that 55 area to me that we're coming into, that could honestly be more interesting to me than any kind of pattern, right? I do think the fact that we have some strange psychological attraction to that 55 level, that sounded really weird, but the fact that this stock is really into the 55 level could be really interesting. Also though, look at this triple top at 64. What I'm trying to say here is there are a lot of levels here that of DocuSign that I would absolutely be watching like a hawk going into earnings. And I think to me, some of these levels are more interesting than patterns, but thank you for mentioning this one because I had a lot of fun looking at this chart. And hopefully that analysis is of some help. But I see what you mean. Like there is certainly some kind of curl. We did have a higher low here. I just think that the support and resistant areas with that 64 top kind of stuck out to me. Also, Microsoft broke 415. We weren't there, but that was okay. I was having a little bit of a panic attack in those 3 trades at the same time. And we didn't lose anything here. We got 30 cents on Microsoft. That Dell, I think people meant that Dell was pumping because Dell is certainly pumping. Again, got out of this move a bit too early, but I didn't have any other levels for this, so I just wanted to play this to previous resistance. We got out there. Palantir is a little waffly. We're getting into that 25 area. If we get into 25.02, I'm out, but really just trying to test myself and trade some other kind of names I don't usually trade.
Are you ready for the range trade of the century? Okay, this is Tesla, Dara, and I just want to show, this is over 4 days. Guys, 4 days here on TSLA. Sorry about that, I was muted. Can I show the chart? Look at this, Adara.
Gosh.
Look at this. So this is a 198, generally 199 bottom. This goes all the way to February 22nd. So 4 days, Adara, with a 199, 198 and a half bottom and 205 as a top. This has been a fantastic trade for anybody who's been swinging this from the highs and the lows. Wow, I just noticed this right now. So the reason I'm noticing it right now is because we're getting into that key resistance level on Tesla. So every day, since the 27th of February, we've come into 205 and we've rejected 205. We're awfully close to 205 right now. 204.45 the high. We're trading at 204.25 right now. It's also where resistance level 1 is on pivots, but forget about that. It's really about that 205 level. And you're gonna have to give this like 50 pennies or so, okay? Because it's Tesla and it may break through that key whole dollar level, give or take 50, 75 pennies or so. So make sure you are sizing in accordingly if you're going to take this short at 205. But this has been a 4-day rinse and repeat possibility. Now, we haven't tanked off 205 yet. So the fact that I'm saying 4 days of rinse and repeat for the long, it's been 3 days of rinse and repeat for the shorts off the top. We're going to see if today presents another day of opportunity for a short at this level on TSLA. But there you go. The chart speaks the volumes here. Fantastic look. Multiple days right now on Tesla, packing my patience. We're gonna see if we can take this bad boy short. Again, you're obviously gonna be standing in front of a market that is uninterrupted to the high side and at all-time highs. But I mean, the technical level is what it is on Tesla, and I think Tesla and Apple are a bit secular at the moment, right? You had some people wanting to drop them from the Mag 7 entirely because they're not growing in the same way. So we can definitely look at a counter trend trade here on TSLA owing to the chart. So I'm going to be really keeping my eye at that level. I'm very impressed with how it's maintained that such a tight range.
Yeah, you pulled up that chart and I was like, huh, beautiful. Right? I think it was Glenn Smith in the chat saying, someone going to sing Home on the Range. And I said, I feel like that's my trading anthem, but Home on the Range, indeed we are. That's not a song I'm going to be singing, but I do appreciate the sentiment and thank you for bringing that up. And yeah, I definitely feel at home when I am range trading. So something I can relate to a little bit. Awesome. Palantir, please go lower. Sincerely, just asking for a friend, actually, not for myself, but no, I'm joking. I would like this dip back. What I'm noticing, though, is this range, the lows are getting higher, so I had to change my point of exit a little bit. We're taking up some of this at 24.96. That is 3 cents. That is very small. That is minute, but it's range and it's scalping, and I mean, 2 things I love the most about trading. So if we can get there, I would be pleased to sponge. I was going to try to not say it, but, here we are. Also, we were mentioning news blotters earlier, and of course that means we have to thank our lovely, fantastic sponsors at Benzinga Pro. I use Benzinga Pro all the time. Sharif's always saying, I've always had my Benzinga Pro open. Typing. If Sean and Neil are like, what's this thing doing? You can always find out. And so we are brought to you by Benzinga Pro, and if you sign up today, you can get 50% off their premier news and research platform for retail traders. You just have to use the code TTV, capital letters. That is TTV, capital letters. Use the link in the description to go to checkout. As you can see here, we have analyst moves. Wolf Research, I guess, decided to be like making moves up a storm here. We have Albemarle, we have Sealed Air, we have PPG. Wolf Research was like, this is the time to do some analyst moves, and so you can always get those there at Benzinga Pro. Yeah, no, honestly, so much here. I want to pull up this AMD because I know Joanna Brewster and a couple other people here mentioning AMD. There was something, I think it was Joanna saying in the chat earlier, forget exactly the wording of it, but you know, it's like orcs charging towards this level here of that 201.50 on AMD. And you were correct, that double bottom is something of beauty, that 197. Then we pop up, this bounce off VWAP is tremendous, just continuing to fly to the high side. I hope this doesn't get double toppy for the sake of all the people in this. And honestly, I think there's a chance it might not. Why? Because this kind of resembles the Microsoft chart. Let me pull up Microsoft. Microsoft was a bit of a trick into being double toppy, but much like AMD, we did have those continued bounces off the 9 EMA. I would be a little bit patient. As someone who wasn't in the Microsoft trade, I would say be a little bit patient, see what you do with that 9 EMA. We did have that little bit of curl up at that 201 area as well. Who says we can't at 202? No one. Yeah, I think Lisa Sue and her Lisa suits should definitely be celebrating here with that 202 break, trading at all-time highs today for AMD. Oh, sorry, we haven't broken 202 yet. 201.73 break. I think this is a fantastic look. Killer Cam 1020 saying, I've been patient with AMD today. Congrats to you. Patience is a skill that I do not have a lot of in my tool belt, so I have a lot of respect for people who can be patient. As Sharif says, pack the patience, and killing it with all those small caps trades today as well.
Yeah, well, not bad. Yeah. I was going to say something. I thought Lisa should have been pleased as punch that she was given validation by the Dell CEO yesterday, basically saying that, you know, NVIDIA chips are great, but he can't get his hands on enough. As such, he's going to look over to AMD to get their new MI GPU. Remember that? So we'll be looking to see how the orders come in. Now, obviously, we're going to have to wait till one of them reports again to find out. But there may be intervening data, so we'll have to wait and see there, see if we can get any mid-earnings data or so. All right, Adara, we're looking now at Tesla. A bit of a double top now at this general 204.5, 204.40 level. We've broken down now below 204, and we just finished yapping about this range that Tesla's been in for the last little while, Katina man, and I've been salivating at a possible Tesla short, all the while knowing that it's a very strong market and that I need to be careful. But Tesla is on the way down now. Let's see what we get here on TSLA. Some strength coming in, keeping this one afloat above 80, but it's been a couple of red candles in a row. And I see a bit of a doji candle on the future. Really don't want to put too much stock into that, but trying to gauge the sentiment of the market. And there's a topping tail candle right now coming in on Meta as well, and some more red. So interesting looks here, Adara, as we definitely retrace a little bit on Tesla. Not so much in the market, though. That's the thing. The market's kind of still holding up at highs at 18.3 1/3 general area, but Tesla's on the way down. There we go. Now we're about 30 pennies off that 204 area. So we're still above the 10 EMA. I'm watching. I don't know if I should get in at the moment, but I do like this Tesla short. We'll pack our patience. Hampton's Trader. NVIDIA also mentioned Dell on the earnings call. Oh. NVIDIA also mentioned Dell. Well, that makes sense because they're buying their servers, right? So they're putting all their servers together and they're selling it either with NVIDIA's GPUs or in the future, I'm assuming is going to be AMD's as well. I'm just very hesitant to short anything Mag 7 into the strength on this market.
Me neither.
I think it's a bad idea because even though I may end up making money on it, I could end up getting rinsed as well. So. Killer Cam, MTC above VWAP again. Thank you for that, Killer Cam. We'll have a look in a second, but I want to shout all my GME heads out there. GME is still going. 4.5%. It's very much near highs, a smidge below 15. Here comes 15 on GME. Here comes 5%. Days high right now on GameStop. Let's see if we get the break of the 15. I still have nothing on my blotter. Neil, have you seen anything for GME? Nothing. Neil doesn't have anything either. Adara doesn't have anything. Again, if you guys have anything in the chat with respect to catalyst for GME, make sure to tag Adara and I so that we can see the message from you guys. And and call it out. Otherwise, we may not see it. But yeah, GameStop on the way through 15. And as I look on the book, Adair, there's not too much size here to hold us up from 15. Here we go. And there goes 15 on GME. This one is going. We're up 5.5% now. Let's see how high we can get.
Yeah, it's like you said it, and GME was like, hold my controller. Let's keep going to the upside. I put in the chat, too, because I cannot resist upon GME roaring, Kitty, to the upside.
I saw that. I like it.
Yeah, no worries. I was like, may as well. Also, PLTR with this. I like the bang button there. We'll see. Like I said, I had to switch my first peak water to 24.96, a cool 3 pennies. I have some other pieces ready for the move down, but I'm getting increasingly nervous that this is actually a bull flag in disguise. I say that because we had that massive move up here. We're still down in the day, mind you, but we had that massive move up. Now we're chopping and turning. Like I said, though, once we go above 25.02, I'm going to say sayonara. We'll have to see how this goes. I don't like the bottom of this range is getting smaller, but I'm trying to try different trades that I don't always try to do. We had a small cap today in Root. We had the SPY. So I'm really just trying to diversify the trading portfolio just a skosh. There was something else here that I was, so again, Neil mentioning INTC. Well, someone's saying TCTC saying PLTR is dumping. I hope so, because I am in the short here, and I like that we can't get below that VWAP. But also, I want to look at this, I'm Fantab. I like that. I hope you're Fantab. That's awesome. AVGO, Broadcom, looking parabolic, says, I'm Fantab. This is a massive look here to the upside. This is a crazy move. Bouncing off the 90 MA like a ping pong ball. No signs of stopping. This is the type of thing that I would say, some people, you want to go reversion trade. I would not. This kind of scares me. This is looking like SMCI when this thing really got going. AVGO, a cool 1,400. This is insane. We moved $104 in a single day. Spread is about $1.14 there. Sorry, guys. Earlier it was $1.04. So spread actually getting a little bit wider as we continue to make these climbs to the high side. Put a broad move for Broadcom. Also, NVIDIA being discussed in every which direction here in the chat. NVIDIA knocking. Okay, my NVIDIA chart isn't loading in whole for some reason. Breaking above the 820 now. I'm going to pull it up on my side chart so we can see that better on, there we go, missed that one a little bit. Here we are, NVIDIA popping up here. That flat top continues to fly, higher lows, flat top, break to the upside. Oh, just lost all my charts. We'll deal with that in a moment. But also, worth noting too is Tony Price mentioning UEC, so I'm gonna pull that up once I figure out what is going on with, there we go. UEC. Oh, I lost everything. Sorry, Sharif, do you know how to fix it when you accidentally wave your hand through the whole screen again? Because I did that again.
What you're gonna do, but you already have this stuff up. Okay, can I have it?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so you're just gonna take something like this, and then you're gonna shake it.
Oh.
But then.
Oh no.
There we go.
I think I might have messed this up.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to come back up. I can take over while you do it.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. All right. Now let's bring in the side chart here and have a look at some of these trades. Okay, so first of all, GameStop is doing the dance right now with 15. So that's the first thing.
Yeah, I think I messed
So
up.
keep your eye on that. Second of all, we were talking about market weakness. We look for something short, and that would be Apple. Well, the market isn't turning back. We're still staying just a smidge below 18.3.5. In fact, it looks like we're going to get to 18.3.5 any minute now, as we're at 47. So I don't want to short Apple. Looking, see what else there could be here. You're getting a nice 10 EMA pullback, like that magnetic effect onto the 10 period on Amazon. So that just printed highs at 178.65, coming now below the $0.50. Hugging the 10 EMA though. It's been either the 10 EMA or the 20 EMA. Take your pick. It's bounced off all of them. So that's been a good look as well. I mean, NVIDIA all-time highs yet again, 821.84, looking to go 822 on NVDA. I mean, this has been an absolute monster on the day. Meta, all-time highs, 504 incoming, 503.88. Hit it, Katina, man. There we go, baby. The dude's flossing. Well, because he's like $6 in the money on this day, and that's why. Shout out to the Katina, man. He'll be on in 3 minutes. Yeah, it's been a rocket ship on everything today. I'm pleased. I got to tell you the truth. With the trading, obviously I made some mistakes, but I'm still kind of happy. What are you looking at over there?
Yeah, I was just answering here. I was going to answer in the chat, but
Oh,
I'll just
sure.
say here too. Tony Price saying that UBC looked good, so I was able to pull that up. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. To call me not tech savvy would be an understatement. Not my bag. I cannot do what Fabian and Ramin and Mark, everyone over here do. But that's okay. We had that beautiful flat top just above that 7 area, higher highs with a flat top. Also, I did not realize it was already so many. We're so close to the end of the day here. What a look here on these markets. But yeah, I agree, Tony Price. Nice move up. I like that we're kind of pushing that flat top. Also, Palantir. We have, how many beak winners do we have in this? Oh, I thought I had more set than I thought I did. That's okay. We're going to add some of these beak winners. I think we're just going to get everything out here because we have 2 more ready, and I like this price. Bottom of the range. Oh, let's not add to the sell. There we go. That'd be sad if we messed up this beautiful trade with a fat finger. But yeah, thank you for pointing this one out to me, Sharif. I love this this range. Really happy with it. Just got out as we broke the bottom.
Okay, I'm spending the money.
Thank you.
Wow, so it did end up tanking off that, eh? Good for you. Look how happy she is, bro.
Thank you so much for pointing it out to me, and thank you as well to the person in the chat who, I think it was Pitchbull, mentioning this situation in the first place. So thank you. I know Neil was chiming in on that one as well. If anyone stayed in this short, congrats to you. I know I sound like I'm accepting an Oscar, but this trade was, I'm just so happy this tanked. I can't believe we only have 30 seconds left, Sharif.
I know, unbelievable. What a week it's been, man. We had a great week this week with lessons, and guys, if you're into short selling, and I'm talking to you, Kyle Burdett, I'm talking to you, some other people in the chat, I just can't remember right now. We are doing lessons on short selling all week. Next week, we're going to talk about all the different strategies, all the techniques involved in short selling. Make sure to check out How to Trade again next week with Adair and I on between the 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock hours. Very excited for that. And I wish you a good weekend, obviously,
Thank
as
you.
well.
I wish you a great weekend as well. I can't believe it's already 2 p.m. But yeah, you know what that means? It means we'll see you next, I almost said tomorrow, next Monday, same bad time in the same bad channel. But for now, though, Brendan's at the big desk, guys.
Peace.
Hey guys, yeah, welcome in. Friday afternoon, couple hours left, and huge day